Whee!
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Maynard After Midnight. I am Damian Maynard, your host. And with us this evening is Deciduous Falling, as he's called. How are you this evening?
Buenas noches. It was great. While that was playing, I realized I had to get the chickens up, so I just jogged through the yard and locked them all up. Perfect timing.
Right?
We were on the phone a while. I was like, "Oh yeah, it's dark out," and then I heard a sound, and I was like, "Oh shit!" All good now. They're all safe and tucked in. Happy little chickies. They got some cantaloupe today, so they're really happy.
Oh, chickens love cantaloupe. So I am looking.
I'm trying to feed them anything I'm growing. I'm not growing any cantaloupe, but I'm not feeding them any squash or corn or anything like that because it'll teach them to raid the garden. So,
right. Well, they don't know what it looks like outside of the shell, so.
Exactly. So yeah, it's great to see you back on again, man, and to be a part of this.
Yes, I'm glad to be back. It's been a little bit, and I've I've just kind of been sitting back and seeing what's going on. There's a lot going on. It was just exposed that that our not so President Obama actually gave $400 million to Iran back in January for not to release the prisoners that they had of ours for some other nefarious reason.
The interesting thing on that, on the stories we're told, is aren't you not supposed to negotiate with terrorists? Just by their definition.
That's why he said that it wasn't to release the hostages. That's not the reason. That's not the reason at all.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure.
I'm sure it wasn't the reason.
Because they probably have a lot of information that would really just throw the shitstorm into a frenzy, probably.
Oh, man. Our country would be so pissed.
Yeah. Another scandal for the DNC or something.
Yeah, I mean, for what other reason would you give a terrorist harboring country who wants nuclear weapons $400 million, please?
Yeah.
400 million. I mean, that's nothing to balk at all.
Well, like, dude, one day you're talking about bombing them, the next day you're giving them money. What are you doing? And again, I don't really know what's going on because it's so convoluted from all information we get, but at the same time, it's like one day you're talking about going in and upsetting the regime, the next day you're giving them cash. It's like, huh?
Right. It's like, why? I mean, why? Why? I'd really like to know why you gave Iran $400 million when, and we all know why. It's because he's like one of the leaders of the Muslim Brotherhood, and he has to help out his buddies, right? So he has to give them money for nuclear weapons, and hey.
Yep.
But he's to say that.
Well, everything that's being played out now is they're just always testing to see what they can get away with. And once they realize, oh, no one's paying attention, well, let's go a little further. Oh, no one's paying attention, let's go a little further. Oh, no one's paying, on and on.
It's not that we're not paying attention, it's that we can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
There's nothing we can do about it. What are we going to really do about it, honestly?
Yeah. We're going to file a federal lawsuit in a federal court to have a federal judge overhear the case? Yeah, I don't think so.
Right.
Yeah. So true, Neo. Desensitization.
Exactly.
That's why the song by Tool is so great called Sneak Fist. I'll keep digging until I feel something,
Right.
You start
man. Tool is like the epitome of great music right there.
There you go. So yeah, there's Pokemon Go. Oh, go ahead.
Yes, Pokemon Go. Pokemon Go. This is like the super craze, man. It's definitely the thing that sheep follow.
It's like the bridge that's finally going to be the ultimate touch point that will allow the virtual world to merge with the physical world in a very real way.
Oh, and it's already doing it. Not only that, it's allowing for a lot of other things to happen. It's not just a game to some people. It allows people to they go to a place where something is spawned and then a crime is committed. You know, either a robbery or, you know, whatever have you.
Yeah.
And that's
And
happened.
let's take, you know, and when you take that a step further, with all the dialogue we've had over the last 10 years about getting rounded up and going into camps or whatever, well, as the craze of the game continues, you won't have to round up anyone. They'll round up themselves.
Right, exactly. And that's basically what it amounts to. I mean, you could essentially, if you want to have a mass gathering of people in a certain spot, and you know, create a focal point for them to come to in order to capture them, it's perfect.
Oh yeah. And those are the ones you want to get kind of out of the way anyway, to get them in, start reconditioning, so they can send them back out as drones to come after people like us. You know.
Right. Those people are going to be the people that are, you know, those are going to be the followers. Those are the people. Those are the people that aren't going to dissent. Those are the people that are going to go along quietly and say, yes, we'll work in your camp, no problem. You know, that is like the blue dots of the FEMA roundup.
So imagine if you use Pokemon Go and you spawned a bunch of really high-level characters. If you give the game another year to get really, really more popular, because it's just on the spike popularity, give it another year to get really popular, then you spawn some really crazy characters in a certain location. You move the population just through a virtual means without having to threaten or anything. You just spawn a purple dinosaur or wherever. Everyone goes there, and then you create a natural disaster, kill the internet. No one can connect. They're all there. You got the masses in one big net. And then, you know, it's just total crowd manipulation. And people go along with it.
Right. Do you have that clip, that one clip from Central Park? Do you have that clip?
I can find it. I can send you the link. I don't think I can play it from my end. I don't know if I'm set up for that.
You should be able to.
Okay. All right, I found it. The Pokemon Stampede. Is there something I need to click to? Is there a share button or?
Yeah, there should be a present to everyone at the top or a share button at the side on the left side.
I see a control room, Q&A, showcase. Screen.
Oh, you don't have all that jazz.
Maybe
you should have a present to everyone at the top or a share button.
That might only be for you because you're the mod, or you're the creator of the Hangout.
No, Mike or Eric or Scott could always share.
I've never done it. I know so little.
Go ahead and send me the link, and I'll just share it.
There's a group chat open up in Google as well. Let me
send it to our chat in the side.
Oh, there we go.
Our sidebar. There you go.
Did you see that?
Yep.
I'm gonna put it in both of them. I put in both.
Which one is this? I have to find it now.
It's the Stampede in Central Park, where something spawned and traffic stopped and everyone just hoarded into the park.
Oh, this says Damian Maynard. That's my thing.
I put it in the chat room and also on the group chat thing. In the Google thing. It's
there's a little blue square on the left side. It says chat. That'll pop chat on our side. Put it in there.
I did. I'll do it again though.
That just
that work?
Nope, that's a link to my show.
Oh, okay. Well, let's not do that. I put
A
it in
link to
the,
my channel.
I put it to I put it in the chat room of your show right now.
Yeah.
You see that?
Yes, I did. Oh, that's the link that you put up in there.
Yeah, that's the link to the people in Central Park, the Pokemon Go Stampede.
No, that's a link to my show or to my channel.
What? Seriously?
Yeah, really.
What the heck? Well, that don't make no sense. Oh, sorry. Don't you love being human?
Yeah, it's all right.
That's all on me. Yeah, I'm an idiot.
I'm gonna drink my black
Hey,
and tan.
that's what beer's for, right? Cheers to that one.
That's right. Cheers.
That was me. I'm like, durr. There, that's the one. That's the freaking one. Jeez. I was like, it's a YouTube thing. Copy paste.
Okay, I got it. I think. Blah, 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 blah. Oh. Now to pop out in chat. There we go. Bam. So I will show this.
Nice.
I don't know how the sound is going to be, but we'll see here.
Even without the sound, yeah, it's
Said
great
quiet.
to see all the people, what they're doing. It's like Walking Dead for real.
Yeah, it's super crazy.
Crazy.
Couldn't believe I saw it. Crazy. Let's see if I can get a full screen on it. Oh, nope, it won't let me. It will let me, but oh, hey, there we go. So we'll share it. Ooh, it was vaporing, Vaporeon. So we will share it to everyone. And
I see it.
yay,
It's working.
this is crazy. Look at all those people. Look at this massive freaking people. This is in Central Park.
Yeah. And the reason they're all going that direction is because something spawned in a virtual, and they all have their phones in front of them in a virtual reality, and it's making them react in the actual physical reality. So the two have been,
It is the merging of two worlds, literally.
yeah. And used to, for great artists or for visionaries and stuff, you would bring things from the other that would be visionary into this, whether you're painting a picture or writing a song. But this is something that's completely fabricated that has nothing to do with it, you know. Just go get your, it's, yeah. Madness.
Oh, okay. See? Shootings, murder, and robbery happening because of Pokemon Go. That's the next video in that lineup, actually.
I saw a story where someone fell off a cliff too while they were walking around with their phone in their face, you know, and they fell off a cliff.
How stupid do you have to be to fall off a cliff?
And that's the thing, is you totally check out and you're existing visually just in the world of your phone. So everything around you no longer exists. And that's the crossroads of merging the two realities, you know. To fall off a cliff while
Right.
chasing Pokemon power up, you know, like
Yeah. I mean, come on. I mean,
well, there's
I drove off a cliff once, but that was on purpose. I didn't do it accidentally. How do you fall off a cliff? I mean, you need to be smarter than your phone. Honestly.
there's that old phrase that's so out of style now. It's ancient. It's dinosaur. It's called situational awareness. You know,
Yes.
and until that's revived, then it's just going to be more of that. Hordes of people. You could just be at a stop sign in town, and suddenly a horde just runs through, and it's going to be normal, like a herd of gazelle. It's going to be a herd of humans with their phones in their faces, you know, like jogging along, and you're like, oh, they must have had something spawn or something. Yeah, whatever.
Right? Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. The funny thing is, that's not when it's going to happen. It has already happened. We just saw the proof of that. It's happening. It's like it's here.
And this is just the beginning.
Oh yeah.
This is really actually pretty new, you know?
Big time. Just this year, it's hit hard. Yeah.
Yeah, wait for another year and see how many people are. You're not going to see me on it, period. I'm just not one of those people.
No.
I have better things to do than that, than to go looking for some imaginary thing with my phone.
Yeah.
But it is very popular, and people are very, very into it.
Oh, it's made Nintendo stock go through the roof. They haven't seen stocks like this since the 80s or the late 80s, early 90s when they came out with their Nintendo system to rival the Atari. Yeah, they haven't seen anything like this since then. So.
I had an N64, and they were pretty popular.
Oh yeah, you had Street Fighter on that one, and
Yeah,
Legend of
all the
Zelda,
games on that.
The Adventures of Link.
Yeah, they had all the games, and it was in 3D. It was freaking awesome.
Oh yeah, no, that was spent a lot of time doing that. And it's funny thing, I enjoy video games. I've played them. I have played them, and it's like, but still, it's like there's a line of like, I'm not gonna go out my front door with like a console in my face saying, "Oh, I gotta go left." Oh, there's a road there, but I'm chasing the character. That's where it stops, you know.
Right. And they can spawn anywhere. They can spawn anywhere.
Yeah. We need to like figure out a way to hack it and to just have it spawn at some sort of rally that we need a lot of bodies at.
Yeah, like like a First Amendment rally,
Yeah.
Second Amendment rally, just a ton of Pokemon heads.
So we hack the Pokemon thing and then we just get everybody to spawn like in Burns, Oregon or something. Whenever that comes around again.
Oh, those feds have not left Burns, Oregon.
Oh no, they're gonna be there for from here on out because that's the it's kind of like the lull in what's to come. It's the lull. They're gonna be camped out there for indefinitely, as far as what I can see. This is the touching point. It's like the striking point of the movement that's coming. But we got the opportunity to learn a lot from that. Hopefully.
Right.
That's why they got us here.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, Hillary rally. Have everybody go there. I was looking at Neo in the room there.
Yep.
Yeah, the innovation of it, and also the way that it could take warfare to a whole other level, because there's already been hacking and all that forever, but now it's going to be where you hack something and actually control what masses of people will do physically.
Sure, absolutely. With literally physically, yes.
That just blows my mind that that's possible. Yeah.
Yep. It's amazing what people will do for a game, and we saw it with I don't know what game it actually was, but I have a few friends that were playing it. It's the red team and the blue team game, and you go to various places and do your thing, and then and it's a physical, it's a cross between the physical and the imaginary plane, and it's very.
Not that battle simulator, is it?
Huh?
The most accurate battle simulator, is that? It's not called that, is it?
No, but it's something similar to that.
Gotcha.
Something, it may be that, but I don't think it was called that, but it's something similar, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And for veterans, hey, that's a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
You don't have to actually be in battle. So
you can try out different formations, and you can use like shields or arrows or archers or what's the other one? Is you have the peasants. You got the. Seen that? What is it?
You just drive around and do your thing, I think, is what it was.
This was an older game you played?
It was around last year.
Gotcha. Is it a game that's still in the beta phase where they haven't really worked out all the bugs and they just release it to let people play it?
I'm not sure. I didn't play it.
Oh, gotcha.
It was just a couple of buddies of mine that played it.
Yeah, there's one that's all the rage right now, is the most accurate battle simulator. If that rings a bell. And that's got a blue and a red team, and they have archers and chariots and cannons and catapults, and you just pick the arrangement and then you let them go at it, and you see that if that's been like a huge thing this year.
Oh no, this was actually, you drive around and you get to places and you do like something or another, and it's like a precursor, I guess, to Pokemon Go, where you have to.
Oh, you're in the physical world.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Gotcha.
This is a physical imaginary plane crossing, So
almost like an app game or something you'd have on your phone.
It was, yes.
Gotcha. Well, I think we're going to see more and more of that, and it's kind of what they've been working toward for a while. And it all started when people started using a digital map instead of a paper map, I think. It became more commonplace to have a computer voice tell you where to turn when you're driving in a physical car.
Right. And I would much rather have paper maps. Much rather.
I've been in a car with someone while they're listening to the computer tell them where to turn, and if there's a lag, they almost wreck because the computer didn't tell them in time, and they freak out and they miss the street, and you're just like, oh my God.
I don't. I go up to the next street and I turn and come back and turn where I'm supposed to turn.
Yeah, I got paper maps. I always carry an atlas, but also if there's someplace I'm going, I don't know where I'm going to go. I look it up on the computer. I look in the atlas just so it's not wonky, and then I write it down by hand on paper, and then I just seat, and I'm like left there, left on that street, right on that street, and I just glance over at a stop sign or something. All right, I'm taking a left up here at this street. I feel better doing that than I do having a computer like saying where to go. I don't know.
Right. Exactly. Well, and when I would, the funniest thing about traveling, when I was walking across the U.S., I'd get to a big city or whatever, and a semi-big city. And half of the time when I ask people, how to get places, or where do I go from here to get to there, they didn't know. They had absolutely no clue whatsoever. Isn't that funny? And this is the town that they live in, Absolutely crazy.
But the total, disconnection from everything around you, and it's all being harnessed in a representative way where you could be in a group of people and no one knows where they are because they're all living in their mind in a place that doesn't really exist except in their phone. It's crazy.
Exactly. It's absolutely crazy.
And the more I see of that, the more it's like, I want to be aware of that so I know how to deal with people that are of that mentality. But I want to be as far away from that as I can in my own comfort zone,
Right. Because you don't want to be, and this is crazy how this actually showed up, where I paused it on this video. It's a stripper pole. And there's a bird that spawned on her leg.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, the stripper story.
No, I'll show you. It's funny.
You gotta show that to everybody.
I am. I'm going to. It's just crazy. See this right here? Like spawned right there. What in the hell? Like,
what are the odds of that, huh?
I don't know. That's really,
and why did it? I would love to see what kind of algorithm they're like making this spawn places. Like, what is the system choosing where it happens?
Right, and why would you have something like that, where kids are going to play this game, children are going to play this game. So this thing spawns at a strip club, and how many kids are going to go to this place trying to find this Pokemon?
Yeah.
Like, really?
Yeah, if it happens in an over 21 bar or some situation, or at a KKK rally, or at a Black Lives Matter rally, or at a, list goes on of situational things where you could get one group of people to go somewhere for a game and then you start a riot.
Sure, absolutely.
Oh man, yeah. To hack that would be like, again, having an army of people, and you could sit and be like the armchair general and just, I think I'm going to make this ultimate character spawn at this location, and that'll bring in like probably 10,000 people.
Washington, D.C.
There you go.
At the Capitol building. Just have a whole bunch of Pokemon spawn inside the Capitol.
I would do it on the president, whoever the president is, male or female, their crotch. And it would be like literally on the president's freaking in their pants,
Yeah.
Yeah, give them the zombie fear, Good luck, Secret Serviceman, because there's 10,000 in a horde coming at you.
Right.
Because there's a special character that spawned in the president's pants. Good luck.
Right. 10,000 people surrounding you. I mean, not that they haven't probably already encountered that, but
yeah, if they're all coming for your pants, or they want to get, all at once. That's true,
And there's much talk right now about Hillary being indicted still.
Oh, there's a big body count too. I think there's like 6 bodies in the last, what is it, week
couple
or
of
two?
months. Oh,
Yeah.
Really? Week or two?
Yeah, there's a great video on that I just saw today. Yeah, the body count just climbs ever higher and higher.
Yeah. Yeah. People who are going to testify against her suddenly die.
There's let me see. I want to make sure I fill out the right information. See the body count. Oh, there we go. There's a lot of good videos on a channel called Truth Stream Media, and this was one I saw today that they summed it all up. Yeah, the body count's +5 in 6 weeks. So I was wrong. It's not a week and a half. I was exaggerating. It's people that were intimately involved with everything going on in the DNC and a lot of other political angles. 5 people have mysteriously died. 1 in a weightlifting accident. Another one was gunned down at like 4 a.m. in the middle of Washington, D.C. Really strange.
Right.
Let's see. Here's the. Do you see it when I do that? When I put something in the group chat on the Google Hangout?
Yeah, give me just a second here. Huh. Say what? I don't see anything in the chat.
Okay, let me try this then, because I have a Google Hangouts chat that I can add to, but apparently that doesn't. So I popped out the chat from the clip.
Oh, the Hangouts. Hold on. Let me go to Hangouts. Because we do have this. We have the sidebar right here. Oh, there it is. What is this? What is this?
Clinton body count +5 in 6 weeks.
Oh, I see this. See? See, and I'm positive Hillary is not going to get the presidency. I'm positive of that.
I think either way it goes, we're still going to have a massive revolt. You know?
It doesn't matter. People want a crook for president, obviously.
I know. That's what I've heard people arguing that point. Well, I think Hillary knows the ropes better and she'd be more equipped because she has experience. I'm like, what? Experience in what? Being corrupt?
Right?
Like,
She knows how to lie to people really well.
Yeah, it's like, what, the best crook wins now? We're past like voting for the lesser of two evils. Now it's like the best crook wins, which pretty much voting for the lesser of two evils is what voting for the best crook has always been. I mean, that is voting for the best crook, you know?
Or the best liar. Whichever.
Yeah. Who's the best crook? Well, that's the one I want because that's the one that should be lying to the world. Like, I don't know, and us.
No, here's the real reason why people don't want Donald Trump as president. And I don't mean people as in the Americans, because Americans overwhelmingly want Trump for president. Overwhelmingly.
Yeah.
Okay? The reason the establishment does not want Trump in is because he's not part of their clique. He's not part of their Illuminati. He's not part of their gang. He's not part of their club.
Not in the big club.
Yeah, and he's willing to expose them.
Mm-hmm.
And not only is he willing to expose them, he has already done it.
he has a big potential for going rogue.
Good. That's the kind of man I like to see.
And the last time we had something like that possible was Kennedy, you know?
Oh, yeah. And you see what they did to him.
Oh, yeah. It's funny. I was watching the whole story of his JFK Jr., how the whole plane crash, and I'd seen it before, but I was looking at that again, all the facts behind that case on how that whole plane crash was just nuts. When you look at all the facts and reports and conflicting reports, crashing off Martha's Vineyard and not having a search sent out for 15 hours from a
Sure.
flight planned flight. It's like, that's unheard of. 15 hours before you send out launch a plane or a helicopter. It's like, come on, you know?
Right? Hello. You haven't done it in ever.
You'll get a faster response if you call 911 from anywhere in this country. But if you're an actual plane that has a flight path and a flight plan, if you disappear off the radar, 15 minutes usually is the slowest response time from when something's launched to look for you.
Right. Right.
15 hours?
Except for Malaysia Airlines, of course.
Oh, yeah, that one.
That one took a while. That's
Yeah,
because he knew where it was, I think.
yeah. The same was with his plane. They knew where it was. They had the beacon and everything. But, yeah, it's a whole ball of wax with all the facts and witness reports. And they all witnesses. Hard time processing. Especially, you know, even if you go all the way back to 9/11, you know.
Right.
Funny saying all the way back to 9/11, but it has been freaking, what, 15 years ago. It's hard to believe it. And 15 years ago that happened.
I know.
Geez.
It is really hard to believe that. I mean, it doesn't seem like that long ago at all. Honestly, it does. It doesn't. I can remember that day as clear as a bell. The whole day.
Oh, I know. Yeah, it's, that's the hard part is you have blue-collar firemen telling you what they saw. But then you have the government tell you what they say is happening. And people will believe the government over blue-collar firemen? It's like,
Hey,
I don't.
As a matter of fact, I actually talked to some of the men that were there on the ground that day.
There you go.
Yep.
And I know.
I've talked to several people that were at the towers when they came down. Firemen, police officers, several people when I was in New York.
You know, and that's the hard part is people will believe official press releases through mainstream media or the government statements through that same source over blue-collar witnesses that are like, hey, here's what I saw, and you know, I've been a fireman for 30 years, and it's just somehow it overrides, like.
I heard explosions. We all saw the explosions come out of the. I watched that.
There's a seismic record of that with geologists even.
Really? I didn't know that.
It goes that far. It's like geologists, that's an out there field you wouldn't think had anything to do with 9/11, but seismology, you know, measuring any tremors in the earth and explosions of that magnitude definitely register on the gear that they have to watch for any tremors. And they got it all mapped out. Like,
that was an absolutely giant building.
so either the geologist, yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, it's all right. There was just a lag there. I keep getting lags.
I was going to say that it was an absolutely giant building. I mean, huge, tall, 110 stories tall.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure they were the tallest buildings in New York.
Oh, yeah.
They tower above the skyline. So for something of that magnitude to come down takes a tremendous force, more than an airplane could ever do.
Free fall speed. I mean, it's never, a steel building has never done that. And you know, that's like a
It can't do that. It cannot and will never happen again.
nope.
You know why? Because it's possible without demolition.
And that's where the big split was. And it's a great theme for our time of the critical thinkers and those that will go with whatever they're told is the truth. And you know, it's always been that way in a lot of ways. With humanity, like what is physically possible and what is possible through religion or through government telling me it's true.
Yes.
And you know, if you even do an experiment at home and get some rebar, you know, there you go. Get some rebar. It's not even good steel. It's like weak steel. Get some rebar and put some fronting on it. Light it on fire and see if it falls. Free fall. You know, build you a little miniature. You know.
Oh, I can even do one better than that, and it doesn't even take metal.
Yeah.
Take some Jenga blocks.
There you go.
Light those on fire at the top and see if they fall.
Mm-hmm.
You can even push the top of it and see if it comes straight down in a pile.
All at once. Yeah.
At free fall speed.
In like 6.5 seconds. 6 seconds. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And that's the connection with physical reality is so blurred, and people can't think for themselves. They're looking, give me the answer, that they'll actually just say, oh, well, that's convenient. They figured it all out. They're the government. They're in charge. I'll just accept that and move on and not have to think anymore about that.
Right.
And it's across the board in every way imaginable, whether it's what you buy, what you drive, what you eat. If you get
it's
facts,
extremely unfortunate too, you know?
Yeah.
Extremely unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
That people can't critically think anymore.
Yeah, it's like a superpower. It's so rare.
Right.
Not to say that, you know, oh, you know, it's just a rare thing to say, you know, this doesn't smell right. Well, the officials say that, well, fuck the officials. It still doesn't smell right. This doesn't look right to me. It's weird, you know? Why is this out of sync with that? And stop that. Here's the official story. We've looked into this. Now you must believe it.
Yeah, why weren't jet fighters scrambled like right away?
Oh, that's another coincidence. Yeah, the NORAD just completely shut down that day for some magical reason. The most powerful defense system in the world, as far as we know, failed all at once. Every aspect, every safeguard in it failed all at once.
Sure.
You got planes flying around for hours in just random directions, and no jets scrambled. No, there was a failure.
And they're off course, of course. Off course. Yeah. Completely off course.
Oh, it's just like they're just dancing all over the sky in some random, like, you know, any flight controller would look at that and be like, but the problem is they had all the drills that day, and that's why it didn't stand out.
And how about Flight 93 being spotted by the pilot after the fact?
Oh, I didn't hear that one. I've heard everything from it. You know, planes landing in hangars and you know, dummy planes being put in, or holograms, and I mean, on and on. But the main thing is bullshit, because you see everything that catalyst was for was to get us where we are now. And I don't know if we'll ever know the truth about 9/11 100%. There's just no way to. It's just like we'll never know the 100% truth of the Kennedy assassination. But that doesn't mean we can't say it doesn't smell right, and I don't trust the people telling me what's true.
Right.
That's the hard part. It can almost be like an obsession to say, to spend the rest of our lives seeking the truth, which we'll do anyway because we're curious people. But there's a point we got to get to where it's like, enough is enough as far as, well, I don't believe anything they say from me from this point forward. And that's all you can hope for from situations of like 9/11 or JFK or JFK Jr. or Benghazi or any other scandal we've had that involves government telling us what the truth is.
Or Iran, the newest one.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or
holy crap. What kind of big fat shithole is that?
Yeah, or Fast and Furious, or Iran Contra, or on and on. All these scandals. It's like,
Anything we've ever been told, ever,
yep,
ever.
the best possible outcome from all the information that's been gathered and sifted through from every angle imaginable. The only thing I ever want to see from all those documentaries and all that information and all that research is for the majority of people, or just even not even a majority, just a good, bigger chunk of people to say, after seeing all this, I don't believe anything they tell me from this day forward, and I'm going rogue.
Right.
That doesn't mean you go rogue and just protect yourself. It's like, well, screw what they say. I'm going to get back with my neighbors and look around myself and see who I can support and they can support me, but pretty much not buying into the same freaking election cycle and politics and flipping on the news to think you're actually seeing what's happening. I mean, that's the best possible outcome, because we'll never know the 100% truth of any of those stories. Not ever. There's no way.
No, because well, it may in time come out, but all the people involved will have to be dead first.
There you go. And it's like even the
same thing with the JFK assassination. It will come out one day, yep, but all the people will have to be dead.
Yeah. And then the problem is that after the secrets, and they'll just keep it. It'll just go away like it has throughout. Just fade into the background, and we'll have more dilemmas, like that'll take over that people are more interested in. But I don't know what it would take for people to wake up and realize somebody farted in the car,
Right.
It's like, that's all I want, just to be able to say, hey, it smells like someone farted in here. And, windows are up, you're driving, you're in the back seat, and your nostrils start burning. Even that would be a step forward. But the funny thing is they just, I don't smell anything. They say that no one farted, so I'm going to believe them. No one farted. Well, trust your own fucking nose,
Right, exactly.
Use your nose.
The paper. Oh, hold on. I'm gonna get it.
Hmm?
Oh, just to let you know, Dylan Roof got his ass kicked.
Dylan Roof? Who's that?
Oh, you don't know who Dylan Roof is?
No, I don't.
Dylan Roof is the guy who walked into a church here in Charleston and killed 9 black people.
Oh, gotcha. I remember that story, but I didn't remember his name.
He's the white guy that walked into one of our churches here, spent an hour or so with them, and then killed 9 of them.
Wasn't that like a year ago? Maybe a little over a year ago?
Yes, it was.
Gotcha.
And he finally got caught without his protection today. Yesterday.
Was he still walking around free? Was he on bail or something?
Oh, no. He's awaiting trial. But
I was going to say.
He's protected 24 hours a day by police. So apparently they just had to do something else yesterday. And one of the other inmates' cells just happened unlocked.
Gotcha.
And, man, I'm telling you, he got a beat down. He got a beat down, which he deserved it.
Yep.
He deserved it. So I don't feel bad for him.
Man, no, not at all. I mean, that's the hard part too, is looking at the whole Manchurian candidate, possibility, and Mossad, CIA, mental programming, and Lenin.
I don't know if you can see this or not. I'm gonna try and show this. This is our Charleston paper here, but I'm gonna try and get it in the camera focus, and It's got Kirby on there.
If it looks like a duck, walks like a duck, and quacks like a duck, it's a cow. I love it.
Yeah, and it's
That's perfect.
Iran ransom. The duck is the Iran ransom.
Nice.
Yeah, I thought that was funny when I read it this morning.
Oh man.
Must be a cow.
Yeah, that sums up
Yeah, I
so
thought that
much.
was funny.
Mine likes short cartoon too. That sums up so much.
It does, doesn't it?
Everything we were just talking about. That's so perfect.
Yes.
It's like someone parks in the car and there's a guy in the front seat who's in the boss, you know, the driver, and he's like, no, no one did that. You're just crazy. You listen to me. I'm the authority figure. I'm
That was
driving.
a cupcake.
That was a cupcake. It's like, no, I swear it stings in here, man. Somebody had it. No. You stop that. I'm going to pull this car over. You stop
Right.
saying that. I'm going to pull this car over. You better listen to me.
Right.
And that's the exact, you know, societal pressure, governmental pressure, bullshit, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the same. Hey, there's Blood Raw. PRT.
Yeah, it's like, you know, there's certain people you meet in your life where you're like, if they told me the sky was blue, I would actually go out and check, even though I would think it would be. I'd go out and look just to make sure, because they're not really trustworthy, and that's a great cartoon, man.
Isn't it? It is. It's, I mean,
perfect.
perfectly explanatory.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole thing is that we cannot trust our government anymore. We can't believe a thing they say because all they do is lie.
Yep.
All they do is
Yep.
lie. So, I mean, in all honesty, I don't trust anything they say anymore. I haven't for a long time.
I
But
don't know if I ever did. I don't think you ever trusted it either. I used to believe. I used to try to get petitions signed, you know, like over a decade ago. Busting out, trying to stand in front of grocery stores, get citizens behind it, get them to sign their name, and yeah.
right.
I think if a lot of people dropped out, we would have a better chance. I don't feel like there's anything we can do through the system. I'd love to see him hold an election and no one voted. I mean, that's not going to happen, but even if just half of the people just said, you know what, I'm not voting this year at all. Half the people, you know,
It wouldn't matter.
they would freak
It wouldn't matter at all because of the Electoral College.
Yep. But they would shit their pants if half the population that voted last year didn't show up, you know, or.
Oh yeah, right. Oh yeah, and you know, I have to say, I'm doing this survey stuff. You know, you get free stuff in the mail, whatnot, and you know, like samples and whatnot. So I signed up for it. I like free stuff. So so I signed up for some free samples of stuff, and they keep asking my political affiliation, but they don't give me the option to say none.
So it's either Democrat or Republican, and that's it. Or do they have independent as a choice?
Or yeah, they have independent, but it doesn't say none. So you have to pick one of them. So I pick.
You got
of course, I pick
three choices, and that's it.
Yeah, that's it. That's all you got. Those three choices, and you can't pick none, and it won't let you move on until you pick one of them. And after I chose, every time after I choose independent, it says, do you support Hillary? And I'm like, fuck no, I don't support Hillary. I'm voting. If I was an independent voter, why would I vote for Hillary?
That reminds me of all those opportunities when you're filling out something. If there's ever a box that says other with a line next to it, it's always good to carry extra paper with you so you can say in that line, see attached sheet.
Right.
And then have some fun with it, you know? Like, whatever the question is.
Right.
Check other with the line next to it, see attached sheet, staple it on there. Paperclip.
30 things on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a 12-page novel, and you're like, oh, okay, I gotta get through this one. At least you can have fun with it. But yeah, it's like, what are you? Tell me right now. It's either this or that. It's like, well, I can't really sum it up. This or that. Well, it better be a short explanation, because we're not going to read all that. Well, what if it goes longer? Well, we don't have time for that. We're just trying to get you through the pigeonholes. Come on, come on. Get in a pigeonhole quick. You know?
Right.
Jump in a pigeonhole voluntarily so we can get you processed. We got to process you. And you got to voluntarily define yourself. Make sure the program's working. Talk about raising some eyebrows if it's a legal document that says other, or governmental document. They'll be like, oh, we got to keep an eye on this guy. He stapled 12 pages of paragraphs he wrote. Because the other box, like,
oh, he doesn't say I understand when we ask him if he understands. He says I comprehend, but I don't understand. Because I don't stand under your authority.
There you go. I comprehend your work.
Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
You understand that we are the boss and you are the public servant.
Mm-hmm. And if you refuse to be a public servant, I refuse to be your servant.
That's right.
I'm not going to serve the public servants. I mean, it's just everything's upside down, flipped on its head. What were we talking about before? What were we saying about how if you flip it around? Oh, the myths. Yeah, the myths. I'm talking about, like, there's more truth in the ancient myths than now we're living in a complete myth. So the further back you go now and dig through antiquity, you might come up with
you find.
Yeah, as opposed to looking around now, everything's virtual, and that
Right.
tied in with Pokemon. What we started off with, but yeah.
Right. Well, pretty soon people aren't going to know the difference between fake and real anyway. They're going to think that Pokemon is real because they see it.
Yeah. One of the tests I wanted to do, I want to do a street test with a camera and just a mic, and just go up to random people and hold up a ruler like this, and then just say, give them the random thing to measure, like, can you read a ruler? Because a ruler is for use in 3D reality. You can use it on a computer too, but it's not the same. If you hold like a wooden ruler in your hand and, like measure something,
Right.
your cock, or, but,
Right.
but then you have the virtual thing, where the further we get away from the ruler, the more we get into a virtual. And that would be a great test, just to go through the street and say, do you know what 7 1/16 of an inch is? And can people read a ruler anymore? And I bet that has declined on a sharp downward spiral.
Yeah. Can you show me 7/16? What's 7/16?
Yeah. Yeah. What is a 16th or an eighth or a half or a quarter, or and just see how many people now. And I bet that has spiraled downward, like my face in politics over the last decade or longer. That would be a great one. That'd be a great test. Just the ruler test. Can you give them random measurements? Like, can you show me? Because I remember doing that in like fourth, even before that, second, third grade.
No, I doubt very much that they do that anymore.
Exactly.
I doubt very much that they do that anymore.
Mm-hmm. And it's that slow separation. And it would be cool even to get our hands on the standardized test units for the last 20 years and then do a comparison on. That would give us a big insight on the bigger plan, even the mental programming. Comparing the standardized tests for the last 20 years together and see what's left out through that 20 years. That would take a lot of research. Jeez. but it sure would be interesting.
Right. Well, and that's like, we can even head into that flat Earth subject from there, and say, the ancients believed the Earth was flat. The
Uh-huh.
ancients, the most capable and scientifically advanced people of all time
Mm-hmm.
knew that we were fixed. We're in a fixed plane. And, you know, we spoke about this earlier, the fact that that we cannot revolve around the sun because of the fact that we always see the same stars. If we revolved around the sun, we would see so many different star systems and possibly other stars or, you know, planets, stuff that isn't in our solar system, because the sun apparently can't be in our solar system because what's 93 million miles away. So supposedly, which I have a difficult time believing anyway.
Well, you know, and it wouldn't surprise me one bit. I think the whole construct of everything we're taught to actually be open to experience that, you know what, I've been liking my whole life. So that, and that's where being a stubborn asshole critical thinker is a good thing to be these days. You know, I want to see more stubborn critical thinkers. Now, not pretending that you're critical thinking, but you know, admitting when you're wrong and just saying, hey, I don't know. You know, let's look into that. But instead of just saying, oh, well, that's all been figured out for, you know, 500 years. There's nothing new there. It's like, well, actually, there's everything new there because it's all a lie, you know?
Yeah. How can, okay, I can definitely tell you as an example, you know, I have walked across this country. I have walked across this country completely. And do you know how many hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of miles there is of just straight road?
Oh, yeah.
There's no curvature there. None. None.
It just keeps going.
Yeah.
Now, I want to find the edge.
Go ahead.
I want to go to the edge. I want to find the edge, you know?
I would really like to find the edge too, but that takes a boat, which I don't have right now. But you wait, I will have a boat.
It reminds me of that great kids book with the poetry in it I always love by Shel Silverstein called Where the Sidewalk.
Love that guy. Where the Sidewalk Ends.
And I remember the artwork on it. It's funny because I have that. I was reading that to my kid. You know, we were. I love that book. That's definitely one for the library to own. You know, in physical hard copy. Where the Sidewalk Ends.
I used to have all of Shel Silverstein's books.
It's got the little girl and the little boy and the dog, and they're looking over the edge of the sidewalk, and the sign there, and it's just
robot voice.
That'd be a great name. That'd be a great name for a flat Earth research group, Where the Sidewalk Ends.
Yeah, but that might be a bit plagiaristic.
It would be, but and also respectful though, because that guy, Shel Silverstein,
dude, he was the guy.
And it's so funny when you read the poems and read his writing, and you see a picture of the guy, you're like, holy fuck, he looks like a pro wrestler, you know? He looks like someone you'd meet in a dark alley and like run the other way because he's a big fucker, you know? He's like, you know, he looks like a bouncer. He doesn't look like a children's poet at all, you know? And it's funny seeing a picture. It's great. Looks can be deceiving in so many ways.
Yeah, he was definitely a very large man.
Oh yeah.
I learned about Shel Silverstein when I was in the 3rd grade.
There you go.
And he was my teacher's favorite writer, actually.
Nice.
Yeah, and he passed away here a few years ago. I went and visited his grave before I came out this way. But
Oh, nice. You have to go to his grave.
yeah, I did. And actually, after I turned, because I moved away from California when I was 16, and then I ran away from home after we moved in the same year. And I talked to him pretty regularly for a long time after I left home, and I got up again, and we even went skiing once together up in Sun Valley, Idaho. And
Oh, wow, man.
yeah, it was really great to visit with him as an adult, and to see him in a different light. So,
That's
and he was on the natural trip. Like at that time, when I was in the third grade, he was eating rice cakes and stuff.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
yeah. So he was a total naturalist, and he lived up in the mountains in California, and
Oh, dude.
it was just really. I had a couple of really great teachers growing up, who were very close to nature, and even one of them I even went and talked to here just a few years back, and I visited with him again, and it's different as an adult to go back and visit your old teachers or people who influenced you, and to see them again.
Mm-hmm.
And I just, I think his name was Bill Chivers. I think he would have really been into the flat Earth theory.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's that creative possibility that usually, there's one thing to have facts, and that's important. There's also another thing to have imagination and an open mind to know that one morning we all may wake up and we'll be floating with our chin against the ceiling, and I guess gravity doesn't work anymore. Oh well. I mean, who knows? It's like taking it all for granted and not being able to reassess things we take for granted is the definition of closed-mindedness to me.
Right. Well, and see, even the ball Earth is a theory. It's not even proven fact yet.
Yeah.
So we're working with two different theories, and the more I research it, the more complex findings that I find, the more it points to. It may not be like a sandwich. What I'm saying is that we may live on a flat plane that is bound by our poles, which is quite possible, and we might, we know that it's thick, but we don't know how thick. We don't know how thick. We've been to 8 miles down into the ground.
Mm-hmm.
That's not very far at all.
No. And that was in Russia, wasn't it? That was the deepest hole ever dug, I think. We know about, at least,
I believe so, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was always fascinated about that because I was thinking about that as a kid. Like, just digging holes in the backyard, and being like, what if you kept digging and digging and digging now? Where would you go?
Well, yeah, because they used to say, you could dig to China, blah, blah, blah.
And it's funny, as a kid, I was thinking, oh, really? Well, let's keep digging then,
Right.
Go to China. Let's go down there. Right. I don't know anything about China. Growing up in Tennessee, it's like, let's check out China. That sounds great.
In Tennessee, they have diamond fields.
They got what?
Diamond fields.
Diamond fields?
There's a field with diamonds in it there, yeah. It's either in Tennessee or Kentucky. I want to say it's Tennessee.
That reminds me of some cartoon I saw at some point where you pay to go look for diamonds or something.
Yep.
I think it was an old wasn't Rocky and Bullwinkle, but it was around that same era.
One of the biggest diamonds ever was found in that field.
Oh wow, man!
Yeah.
Probably around the Appalachian Mountains, then, probably, huh?
I'm not sure, actually.
I would imagine it's like the oldest mountain chain in the world. I don't know. Seems like diamonds would be around mountains and not in the plains, but you never know. Could have gotten washed out or some glacial thing a million years ago or something.
Oh no, it's like actually owned land where they allow people to come and look for diamonds.
That's crazy. That's funny. It reminds me of an old cartoon. I can't remember the name of it. Oh man, shoot! It's an old cartoon. Anyhow, so you pay like a fee and you go through the field and like you get your bucket and you go look for diamonds and.
Yep, they show you the process of how to find them and everything, or
Wow.
what to look for and how to recognize them, and
Huh.
Yep.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's one of those funny things too. You think about like gold and diamonds. They have such a monetary value, but they really have very little practical purpose.
Right.
I mean, gold, yeah, you can do gold leafing or do sculpture, and it's just a weird thing. Even diamonds, like, what are you going to do with a diamond? So you have a big giant diamond in your hand, and okay, how do you use that other than just for what it is? How does that benefit anything? As far as being.
Well, we can make drill bits with it, or.
Oh, that's true, because it is the hardest fucking.
There are practical uses for diamonds, but really and truly, there's no practical use. Well, there are practical uses for gold in electronics and things like that because it is a superconductor of electricity. So
there you go.
It is the highest conductor of electricity in metal there is. I know because some of my stuff is gold tipped.
There you go. Well, and that's the interesting thing. It has that quality about it. And supposedly we're just now in the computer age and the electricity age. But maybe that's what made it so sacred, 10,000 years ago, only we weren't filled in on the whole history of why gold was sacred then even. Maybe they knew already for some reason,
Right. Well, we like it that it's shiny and pretty and that it makes nice jewelry.
Yeah.
But the practical uses of gold were probably extremely conceptualized back then. They have far better technology than we ever have. So who knows?
I know it's one of those great mysteries, but it's funny how it's an element that has that unique quality about being the most conductive. But at the same time, the ancients weren't using computers, so at least as far as the stories we were told, the history we were told. But it's just one of those.
No, I believe they had computers.
I think they had technologies that would make ours look like kindergartners. I mean, you look at the pyramids, and the walls of Peru and the way they were fitting stones together and how they did all that. Maybe they had some secret plant mixture they used to shake the stones and turn them to liquid and stick them back together. But there's walls in Peru that I don't know how.
Lasers.
Well, now that's the thing, is that we could think that we would use lasers. That would be the first thing that would come to our modern mind. But it's hard to imagine like a technology even out of our understanding, because we would admit, instantly try to go for something technological in our time. But what if their technology was something that would look completely primal and that's not technology. But then what they do with it, you're just like, holy shit, they just mix like plants together or made some sort of sound or harmonic frequency and they move that giant stone. What?
Now that's possible too. It's quite possible. About the castle, right?
Yeah, there you go, Coral Castle.
Coral Castle was built by one man.
Yeah. And there's even those stories that, the two kids that snuck in one time and they saw him like holding.
Stone.
They told
Himself?
they told their parents that he was holding like a couple ice cream cones in his hand. That's what they look like. And you see
Right.
the hieroglyphics, or the old stones that they found in a lot of ancient archaeological digs, where they have those ice cream cone things, representation thing. Yeah, I love stories like that. It throws the mystery in it. It throws the mystery into. It allows the door being open for possibility instead of just more of the same old crap, And that's what I always think about during election years. It's like, I don't want to waste my time hearing the same old issues getting kicked around and around. I want to celebrate the mystery and remember that, anything's possible at any moment, I mean, it could go either way at any time.
Well, for like 20 years now, all I've thought of the earth as is a big petri dish. So
there you go.
And, that's really what I think of it as, is a big experiment. And I've thought that for a very long time, even before I got into this whole field and alternative media and looking at conspiracy theories and conspiracies themselves. And some of them are conspiracy theories. Sorry.
Yeah.
9/11 is not a conspiracy theory. It's conspiracy fact.
Yep.
And there's too much proof to back it up.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I mean, all you got to do is look with your eyes, and you can see that building didn't come down by the act of an airplane hitting it. So I'm smarter than that. And they're not in any way, shape, form, or fashion ever going to make me believe that an airplane brought that fucking place down. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. No way.
Never.
Yeah. Me either. It just doesn't make any sense. There's just those, even being a kid experimenting with fireworks, it's like, playing with fire as a kid. It's just, I've tried to burn metal before as a kid. Take a screwdriver, hold it in a flame. It's like, well, nothing happens. Doesn't melt.
Right.
But a whole building made out of steel that was built to resist like an impact like that, because they knew they were, building some giant buildings in between two major airports, even in the 70s when they built this. The designers had that in mind. And
Yeah,
I don't know. It's just,
it was made to withstand airplane hits. It was built to withstand earthquakes and all kinds of stuff.
yeah, because they were so huge.
Right.
And that's where it's like people would rather accept the official story on everything, whether it's religion, who you should vote for, says, because they're a person of significance for some reason, which I don't agree with. I don't know, you don't either.
No.
But just because they have some sort of magical conjured up authority, that we should automatically just roll with it because they have a sound system and a bunch of slogans, and like $1 billion campaign budget. Yeah, I mean, I'm always going to be pulling for the underdog as long as I live. I'm always going to be for the downtrodden and those without voices, because everyone who has a voice that's huge in this country, I don't want to have anything to do with, frankly, Because the only way they can get that voice is to sell out, or else they would have been taken care of,
Oh, God.
Peach Shine. Oh, yeah.
That's what I love that stuff.
It sounds awesome right now, huh?
Man, I had West Virginia peach moonshine. Oh my God. After you take a shot of peach moonshine and smoke a cigarette, it tastes like you just ate a fresh peach.
Yeah. I soaked persimmons in moonshine. Persimmon shine. I've had that. Persimmons and peach and plum. That's the only ones I've had.
I want to make some pomegranate moonshine.
There you go.
I made pomegranate wine when I was a kid. Well, kinda. I fermented the pomegranates. It was great.
I tried them.
My mom didn't know why I was drunk.
You guys are gonna start talking about Shine now. Make me homesick.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I love the South.
I know, man. There's things I miss a lot about it. I gotta make my way back that way in a few years. That's why I was talking to some friends about. There's a place called Unicoi, Unicoi County in Tennessee. Some friends are talking about, yeah, they're building like some straw bale stuff and doing cob and stuff, and I'm like, oh man, I'd love to come be a part of that, but I don't know. There's a lot of that out here too, but can't be everywhere at once.
Have you heard of Hippie Hill?
Hippie Hill?
Yep.
It doesn't ring a bell.
It's in Tennessee.
It's not the farm outside of Nashville, is it? West of Nashville? That's not around that area, huh?
Possibly.
It's a little west of Nashville.
Quite possibly. It's a farm. It is.
I know there's a place, we all just call it the farm, just outside of Nashville, Murfreesboro. Like, I think it's like a good 35, 40-minute ride west of.
I know where Murfreesboro is.
You remember Murfreesboro? I used to live.
Walked right through there.
There you go. Yeah, I used to live there, and I never went to college at MTSU, Middle Tennessee State University, but I had a friend that did, and they had a college radio station where you could actually you could do live shows and have callers and stuff.
That's
So
awesome.
we would sneak in at night at midnight. We called it Burning the Midnight Oil. And we would just play random music and take callers and talk about UFOs. And it's like, this is full circle for
I love talking about UFOs.
I know there's a lot of new sightings now too. There was one recently.
Yeah, yes, there is a lot. I get all the updates too from MUFON and from Secure Team and all those guys. I get all the updates. Yep.
No, I always follow. I find that fascinating. I think anyone that wouldn't entertain that idea, I can't really be friends with.
Hey, it makes more sense than believing in some invisible being that just said, breathe.
Well, then you get those old stories, you know, of flaming chariots coming from the sky and taking people up. It's like, well, let's put 2 and 2 together.
Right? Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. Yeah. How about that famous painting by Leonardo da Vinci that features a UFO?
Yeah, isn't it like Mother Mary and with her Christ child in her lap or something like that?
Yes, it is.
I know that one. I love that one. It's like, okay, so what's that all about, you know?
Well, I've had a firm belief for a long time that maybe he was a hybrid.
That would make a lot of sense, especially when he's drawing pictures of helicopters in the time he was living, you know?
Well, not only that, but the whole point being that he could do miraculous things that if we had okay, we do have the brain capacity. That's true. We have the brain capacity.
Uh-huh.
We only use, the smartest of us only use about 10% of our brain.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's those of us who think on genius level.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And for those of us on genius level, or close to genius level, we can't fixate on one thing. Our minds are all over the freaking place.
I've
You
always
know?
wondered if people went beyond the 10%, that they would choose not to engage with other people at all.
Well, and for a long time I didn't.
No, I always wondered that because I mean, where would you go to? You would have to be used to being alone because you have to be alone. Well, say okay, average person uses 10% of their brain. Say there's
No,
someone that's born one day that uses 30%.
The average
The
person
genius.
uses
Sorry,
6.
genius. There you go.
The
The
average
genius
uses
10%.
Yeah.
So say someone was born throughout the history of time. They use 30.
30?
Yeah, say someone used 30% throughout time. Now, everyone that would be of a lower mental construct would imagine that, oh, well, that person would probably go out and start a very successful company and make lots of money and no, or perhaps write a best-selling novel or innovate something, and make a new gadget that you can use in your kitchen, perhaps that would sell well on late night television. But I think that's where a lot of the deeper philosophies come from, like Lao Tzu. I'd love to know what Lao Tzu's IQ or level was, or percentage of his brain he used.
He was probably at like the 140 level.
Yeah, I know, huh? And that's what made
I would say probably 140, 145 maybe.
Yeah, and that's his whole story was, he just wrote all that stuff and then he rode off on a donkey, and that was it. He just wrote a book and just fled on a mule, I think that was, or a water buffalo. Wasn't it a water buffalo or a mule? One of the two.
It may have been a water buffalo.
Now I gotta know. I'm when Lao Tzu wrote it, I gotta look. Was it a buffalo or a mule when Lao Tzu rode off into the sunset?
It may have been a donkey too. You never know.
In fact, Lao Tzu rode away on
a donkey.
Oh, did you find it, donkey?
No, I didn't find it.
Oh, okay, there you go. So he left and rode on a water buffalo to the western border.
Oh, he was a water buffalo. See?
I knew it was one too. Woohoo! That was, good old Lao Tzu, man.
Well, and then people like Carl Jung.
Oh,
and, dude, I'm telling you, Carl Jung was so impressively intelligent.
Oh, I know.
By far my favorite psychologist of all time.
Yes. So funny, man. I tell so many people that exact thing you just said. I was just talking about that like 2 days ago.
They're like, who's Carl Jung?
Yeah. It's always a relief when they know.
Exactly. At least it shows that they have some how do you say, tendencies towards the not normal, I guess. No, tendencies toward not being normal, because he was not the normal psychologist.
No. He had an extreme natural gift for the insight into the human condition, I think. Either he was extremely honest and raw with his own self, or he just was born with that gift. Yeah. Carl Jung.
Right.
And that's
see, he even had he could see this construct of the shadow world of the,
Mm-hmm.
I know you know what I mean, because the shadow world exists in dark and in light both. So He had a.
It's funny you say that because that's one thing I always. Sorry, there's a lag.
Yeah, I catch a robot voice from you every now and then.
Yeah, I might. Whenever I look up stuff online, I think it messes with my bandwidth. But there's
you are too.
There's shoot, I lost my train of thought now. Dang it!
Shadow World.
Oh, Shadow, yeah, Shadow World. Carl Jung, Shadow World. Digging deeper than the surface, and oh, I know what I was gonna say. That's why I always feel like in the company of New Agers, who are all like love and light and peace and harmony and let's hug and kiss. And I want to be really negative and be really crass and crude to balance it out. And then if people are really crude and crass around me, then I'm like, hey, you know, we don't have to talk that way. We can chill out. And I've noticed that about myself.
Yeah, you kind of balance things out a little bit.
Yeah, if like now that doesn't mean if like a compliment comes, I'm immediately like, oh, we got to go dark. No, it's just like if that's all that I see on a level from someone I'm dealing with of like, oh, everything's great and wonderful and beautiful and lovely and beautiful and lovely and beautiful and lovely, then eventually I'm like,
no, it's
oh, you know,
lying to yourself.
Yeah,
That's
it's
not
like, all right.
fucking true.
And then I start like cracking on that, you know, like, let's see what really, then I want to push their buttons, frankly, because if they're always like on that, everything's beautiful and lovely.
Oh, really? Everything's great? Do you like your tyrannical government?
Yeah. And then I really start cracking on them and I'm like, all right, well, smell my finger and guess where it's been, you know? Yeah, they handle like an all, you know, totally gross comment, but at the same time, in those situations, it's necessary to rock the boat.
Right. No, I get where you're coming from, exactly.
Or if, you know what I mean? It's like, it's too far in either direction. Like if we're just like, oh, everything's screwed, what's the point of doing anything? If someone tells me that, I'd be like, well, there's just still stuff you can do in your own life. And if someone tells me, well, everything's perfect and there's nothing we could ever want for, I would say, well, actually, there's some things I think we should work on. So either way anyone would ever present, even to myself, there's always the balance I'm looking for, not extreme hell or extreme paradise, you know?
Right.
And that's what I like. That's why it brought me back to Carl Jung, is he knew that. And he introduced the shadow to the psychological world. And that was the scary thing that, you know, people don't want to admit is you've got a big dark side there. We all do. And you've got a light side too. And the only way you can be a full human is to let them coexist. But you're not dark and you're not trying to get rid of the light. You're trying to find where they fuse so you're never out of balance. That's what I see.
That is probably the closest explanation of Jesus that anyone could give.
And that's why Carl Jung was a genius.
Or whatever you want to call him. I don't know what his fucking name is. I don't know.
Well, I think
Jesus or Jose or freaking. He came from the Middle East. His name's not Jesus.
I know. That's a great point. That's and that's the great thing is Carl Jung was touching upon pretty much, if you look at the philosophy, or not philosophy, the Jungian psychology, that's pretty much, he's describing in a scientific way and going into it the psychology or the deeper message of what Christ was all about on the surface, you know?
Yes.
And there's other ones too. You got you know, you got Horus, you got Zoroaster as well.
Yeah, that's why I say I think he was personally a hybrid. I think that's what he meant by, you know, everything that he said, because he was definitely trying to he was trying to bring people into a new philosophy that they didn't understand, but he was trying to do it in baby steps. And his disciples were like, "What the fuck are you talking about, dude?" And and personally, I perfectly understand it. and a lot of people, I would say about 95% of people do not understand what Jesus even was saying, you know? But of course, I've read the Apocrypha. I've read this, I've read the stuff that they took out of the Bible too. So, I probably understand it on a little deeper level. But even when I was younger, I read what he said, and I gave it thought. And I think that's what a lot of people don't do, is actually give it thought. They just listen to what other people have said before them. And that's not saying that anything bad about anyone in any religion or any, that's my own personal thought. So don't get mad at me. But the whole thing is that when, people want to say he was a kind and loving and da-da-da-da-da person, he had a dark side too. Obviously, he got mad because he was pissed off that there was temples built and they were putting money into it. And anyone who's going to believe in the way that Christ, if you're going to be a Christian and you believe in what Christ said and you want to follow his path, and then the money has to fly out the window, because Christ said there's no need for money.
And that's the funny thing, you never hear a sermon taught about, the Christ going in, constructing a whip and going in and whipping people, turning up tables, and yeah,
he was pissed.
Yeah,
he wasn't happy.
No, not at all.
He was trying to teach people the right way, and they weren't listening.
And that's what pissed me off about that. Just that one, that one belief, that one story of just how you take someone and pacifist. Even though in the stories, there was a time he got pissed and took action. And that's the money changers in the temple. And isn't that fitting for the time we're in? The banks, the counterfeiting of money, the representation of money that means nothing, and the profiteers. And that's only one. That's only one of the great stories of the world. You got the story of Horus and Zoroaster, and
right,
the Hopi, the blue Kachina coming through the sky again with the Hopi. That parallels the work.
The Hopi prophecy is probably by far one of the closest there is.
The gourd of ashes and all of that.
Yeah. Yep. If you look at the Hopi prophecy, they have really nailed it, and there's only one left. That's it, just the blue star.
Yeah, they called the. I remember reading those, and even the one where they called where there'll come a time where there'll be wires stretched across the world like a great spider web, and you can either look at it.
It said nothing. No, it said nothing about wires. It said that there would be a spider web that went around the world.
There you go. I was misquoting it.
Yeah, what you're talking about are train tracks, the snakes that wind across the countryside.
It's amazing. Is the gourd of ashes the last one? Isn't that the last one, or when they shake the gourd of ashes, or is it
the blue star?
Oh, that's right, the blue Kachina. There you go. Yeah, and I haven't.
Even the white buffalo was born.
Yeah. And that's the sad part for me. And
robot.
And think that there's only one that's valid. I've never been able to do that. I think the Hopi people have just as much as a valid voice as the Christian people. And I'll say that for every prophecy or every lineage, as long as they don't take action and start saying, the Hopis are going to start saying we have to wipe out all the Christians, then I'm going to have a problem with the Hopi. But they're not.
Right. Right. No, they're
Whatever group decides they're going to exterminate another, then I'm going to say, hang on, let's get back to the mutual communication. But they're all valid. They're all valid experiences and cultures. And that's what makes me sad, is when only one can get precedent. And there's thousands of them.
Right.
And that's why we're very ignorant and appreciating all knowledge.
Well,
even if it's outside of our comfort zone,
Well, who's to say that someone didn't come from the future and give that knowledge to the Hopi?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And maybe to only the Hopi.
Exactly.
Or the Indian nations themselves, because a lot of the nations actually hold the same type of dialect.
That similar, that common thread to their dialect. That's amazing. You brought that up. And that's something that's going extinct now. And it's a great example of how whatever knowledge was held in that dialect, when a dialect goes extinct, unless it's just like the Rosetta Stone,
Did you
they
know?
never fail.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, it's just, even with Native American cultures or Native American dialects that are going extinct, there's that whole library that was an oral tradition that goes extinct with the language. Whereas in
Yes,
the Rosetta Stone was the only way they could crack the code on what hieroglyphics meant, because they had the Latin and the hieroglyphics next to each other. And now they started learning how to even Egyptian up until the Rosetta Stone. That was just like, oh, that's weird writing. And then they found the Rosetta Stone. At least that's the story of history we've heard. Who knows?
right. Right.
But,
I was going to say, did you know that in Arizona, there's a radio station that is broadcast in Navajo?
wow. Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Dang, I want to listen to that when I go to sleep at night.
In the Four Corners area of Arizona, there's a radio station and I listened to it when I was walking through that area. And it was absolutely amazing and beautiful to listen to. And they speak in their native tongue.
Wow.
Yeah.
I would love to just have that play in as something to fall asleep to, or just to hear it,
It was pretty neat, I have to say.
Yeah, I think that was the big misconception for the Western mind coming to this continent, North America, or what we call it. I have to use something to call it. The original North America was that they could easily label every tribe here as savages, because their idea of knowledge was building great libraries and having lots of books.
Sure.
The Native Americans, the true Native Americans, they didn't need libraries, because their libraries was everything around them, like a total connection. It's like that lack of representation, other than maybe the way they would adorn themselves and celebrate from everything around them and adorn themselves. And that's why there was such a clash of, it's like your left brain meeting your right brain and having a fight,
Sometimes it does.
It's like logical meets the intuitive creative side, and it's just like, oh, we're gonna have a go at this,
Yes. Yeah, I do.
you know all about that, but
I do. I definitely know, because I'm bisphered. I use both hemispheres of my brain. So
Totally. Well, that's the what we got to strive to be. If you're all emotionally reactive, then you're going to have a lot of trouble. And if you're all cold and logical, you're not going to have any joy in life. And then you got to push them together. And there's a time to do frivolous, meaningless things, and there's a time to do very meaningful, focused, logical things.
right, exactly.
There is a season turn. Geez. Like a Hallmark card commercial. There is a season for all things, Damien. We must find our center and balance ourselves.
Well, and you know, I've lived in a subculture of people that is as close to utopia as you could get, and even within that culture, there's still a little, you know, like you said, within the light, there's darkness, and
Yeah.
you know, even in the most perfect of circumstances, there's still some dissent or some malice or what have you, and and even within that subculture of beautiful, wonderful, like light-filled people, there's still, you know, you got your grumpy fuckers too, and and that's just the way to put it, you know, and that's the only way I can put it. That some of them are just grumps, you know. And
that's the thing. It exactly takes to that point, you know, again, of like,
things out.
If I ever meet anyone, including myself, that thinks they're going to find some utopia here on Earth and they're going to be in some utopian thing and have a nice, peaceful, quiet, and that would be hell to me. That would be hell, because
nothing's ever perfect.
The very thing that can make you know you're having a good time is the times you weren't having a good time.
Right. You can't know good without bad, and you can't know bad without good.
And that's why I have such a big problem, and why I like to, as soon as I get into a group of people, if they're all like, you know, flu new agey, and they go on and on and on about it, then I start making really off-colored comments and trying to rock that boat and create discourse, because it's the only thing that can bring balance.
It sounds like a lot of fun, actually.
and it's entertaining, and I even do it to myself. You know, it's like, okay, you dumb fuck, you know, get off your ass. You're depressed, you know, or whatever. You're sad today, and people feel like that you should never be depressed. You know, and that brings up the whole medicating. People medicating themselves because they're depressed. It's like, well, go into it and then make yourself do something else. But you got to find the balance, because if you're artificially not depressed all the time, then you're completely out of balance. There's no way to artificially avoid being sad and to not have a major repercussion in balance. I mean, there's no way.
Well, you know, it's okay to be sad, but you can't be stuck in it.
Exactly.
That's the whole thing. You know, it's okay. You know, I have my days where, like, it's coming up. I'm telling you, it's coming up, and I can already feel it starting to take a toll on me. Yeah, my son's birthday is here with about 11 days. 10 or 11 days, and it's 10 days now. But but I haven't seen him for many years, and it doesn't matter. I still, right around the time that his birthday comes, and I don't even have to know the date. I don't even have to know the date, and when that date rolls around, I feel this overwhelming sadness, and you know, and it's not something I can control. It's just something that happens. And people ask me, what's wrong? I said, I don't know. I don't know what's wrong. And then I figure it out. I look at the date, or I happen to look at the calendar or whatever. And then I figure it out. Oh, this is why. Because you may not know inside of you, but your insides know.
Mm-hmm.
Your clock tells you.
Mm.
And it may not even be on a conscious level. It's on an extremely subconscious level.
Well, having the awareness to know that that's what's going on that's something that happens outside of time. It just happens it's like a emotional scar that we have to learn to live with those. And if we're honest people, then we all have them.
Right.
And we need to feel that. We need to feel that pain and not hide from it or run from it. But
you have to let it happen.
Yeah.
Because that in itself gives you a reason to understand happiness also. You have to go through the motions of having that sadness in order to realize how good your life actually is.
Mm. Yeah. Without any suffering, then if there was no suffering whatsoever from this day forward for eternity, that would be a form of hell. And that's what people don't think through. Just like if there was perpetual suffering from here on with no happiness, that would be a form of hell as well. The
True.
only way down 101, which I'm preaching to the choir to you, but
I'm getting a little bit of lag too.
You getting the laggy?
Just a little bit of lag.
Let me try this here.
I'm gonna try it too, actually. I upped my well, maybe not here, but I did on my other account because I logged into Chrome to try and do it on Chrome, but it didn't want to work for me, and neither did Firefox. So I said, screw it, and I came back over here to. Oh wait, maybe I am on. Am I on Chrome? I'm on Chrome.
Oh, there you go. It's all good.
Now I'm gonna have to figure out Chrome. That's all.
Yeah,
that's all.
That's the whole experience of being human has to encompass both sides. And as soon as people are starting to medicate to escape their full true being, which is suffering too, then there's going to be a huge imbalance, and that's what's happening in the world over.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
And I don't think there's any way to fix it other than for people to work hard again, to actually reconnect with the earth, do some basic shoveling. Stop going to the gym and shovel dirt, plant a garden. And that's the funny thing with modern exercise is a very, very new thing. It's like so in its infancy. The idea of going to a gym did not exist 100 years ago.
Yep.
Yep,
that's true.
People would run together, and they would throw those old medicine balls back and forth, and that was about it. But that concept, because usually most of the people in the world were in the fields they were at the gym while making food. But now we have everything compartmentalized. You go to the gym to get your exercise. You go to the grocery store to get your food. You go to your work to get the money to go to the gym and to buy your food. On and on.
Exactly. And it's crazy.
It's not.
They're forced to get their food anymore. People use the forest to get their food.
Oh yeah. It's gotten so complicated and compartmentalized and all these things. No wonder people are going crazy and feeling depressed and sad. It's like it doesn't have to be this complicated. And then it's like, oh, it's time to vote again. You better make a choice. Come on. You got three choices: independent, Republican, or Democrat. It's like I vote none.
Right? And it doesn't give you an option to do that.
I know, and you can't. It's like, nope.
It doesn't give you that option.
I know. And that's why I'm taking it, damn it.
They're just like, you have to pick one of these three. Well, what if I don't want to pick any of those?
Yeah. Why can't I go in a voter booth and then check other with the line next to it and then scan my 8 pages of why I and have that attached to my ballot and someone review that later, you know?
That's right.
Otherwise,
I vote for myself.
yeah.
For myself. How about that? Because the president's allowed to cast a vote.
Yeah, the best way to vote is vote yes with your life.
You're allowed to vote for yourself if you're running for president. You know that, right?
Oh, you can?
Yes.
Oh, that's cool. Can you do a write-in? I've never even been in a booth.
Everyone gets, yeah, you can do a write-in. Absolutely.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, just for the sake of seeing what the experience is like, because I've never voted for a president.
Well, I'm old enough to run for president now. So I would like to.
How old is your age?
Huh?
You got to be 40 or something?
42.
Oh, okay. You got to be 40?
No, you have to be 32.
I wonder now. I didn't know there was an age restriction on.
I have to look that up again, because I think it's 32.
So you got to be 30 to be a senator, 25 to be a representative, and I can't see the president. That's interesting.
Oh, 35.
Oh, there you go.
Constitution gives 3 eligibility requirements to be president. One, must be 35 years of age, a resident within the United States for 14 years, and a natural-born citizen.
Well, that cuts Obama out, and he got in. I think we can just throw all those laws out, right?
And a natural-born citizen, a term not defined in the Constitution.
Meaning that wasn't defined in the Constitution, so that could be interpreted based on whoever the judge is at the time. Is that what that kind of means, I wonder? Probably, huh? It would have to be interpreted by the court if it wasn't defined in the Constitution.
Requirements to become president of the United States. Oh, big old long thing. You have to only a natural-born U.S. citizen or those born abroad, but only the parents of at least one was whom a U.S. citizen at a time may serve as president of the United States. That's how Obama got it, because his mom was a U.S. resident.
So it's not that
a U.S. citizen, huh?
I thought they had to be born here. That's the only thing. That even if one of their parents were a citizen here, but you're reading something that says that. I wonder if that's what side is that? Because I wonder if they've changed what information's on the internet because of this.
It is usgovinfoabout.com.
Let me see here.
Let me see if I can go to an actual government site.
It sounded like that you were on one because it was gov.com, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
usgovinfoabout.com.
Gotcha. Let's start now.
but it's 35. That's right.
Can't believe that. 35. So we should have been running for president for the last 6 years, man. We've been wasting our time.
Right?
I'm going to get off here right now.
Like
and make
us.
some buttons.
People would vote for people like us.
A few people would, but no,
the vast majority would. You know how many people told me if I ran for president, they would vote for me? You know how many people told me that? Hundreds.
You got to do it, man. I think I would scare the shit out of most of the normal people in this country. 100%. Too radical. Way too out of the box.
No, they like it. They're tired of the same old shit bags.
That's true. Well, I mean, I think they need to really choke on the shit bag.
They love Trump so much. They love Trump because he's not one of the normal shit bags.
That's true. I mean, he's definitely radical and saying things that you couldn't have gotten away with in the last election, that's for sure.
Right?
Yeah. Probably another couple election cycles, they'll be ready for like radicals like us. It's going to take a couple more. They got to really choke on the shitbag, process before they're ready for someone to come in and roll up their sleeves. So we'll give them a couple more cycles. And
right.
If the world's not inflamed by then hey, there'll be time to run.
I don't go to Wikipedia for anything concerning real info.
Mm-hmm.
That actually was a pretty good site, I think. U.S. government, the president, and the cabinet.
Mm-hmm.
John F. Kennedy was the youngest person to be elected president at 43.
Yeah, he was a smart fella.
He was a young man, well, in the presidential scheme.
Mm-hmm.
Reagan was almost 77 at the end of his term, and he was 77. When was the oldest president at the end of his term in 88. And the same three qualifications apply to the vice president. So you must be
55 to be either one.
A natural born citizen or having a parent who's a citizen of the U.S. And you have to be in the U.S. for 14 years. So you could go away or whatever, but you have to be in the U.S. for 14 years. It does not make clear whether those 14 years need to be consecutive or what the precise definition of residency is. So far, however, this requirement has never been challenged.
Yeah, I wonder how they would figure that out. We're going to need your electric bills for the last 14 years, or any phone bills, or
right.
Even to get to that level, you could have a whole campaign and everything, and unless you were serious, they wouldn't even look into any of that. Unless they were just looking for dirt. Now, if you're totally like foreign and you did it, of course, like, I want to be president of America. It's like, yeah, it doesn't sound like you're from here.
I would like to be president.
I want to rule the America states. Yeah. And you'd be like, oh, maybe we got to look in this guy's background.
I have watched so many scammer videos that
If I'm president, I'll make you all.
I can do a video. I can do a video on
You remember when you could do stuff like that and not be blamed for being racist? But I make fun of everyone, even Irish or whatever, even myself. I think that's the only way to get out of this hole, Doug, is to make.
I am not racist in any way, shape, form, or fashion.
Oh, I know
But
you're
making fun of everyone is open season.
Yes, that's the only way we're going to get out of this hole. It's all fair game. Make fun of all the races, make fun of all the different cultures. It's all fair game, That's the only way to get out of this mess. And until we can do that, we're just going to get pulled further and further down, The only way I see out of it. Make fun of absolutely everything.
Right.
Yeah. He did lie.
Make fun of everyone. In a radio.
That was you see that interview with Morgan Freeman? It's very short. They were asking Morgan Freeman why, what he thought of Black History Month. And he's like,
yeah.
I think it's ridiculous. And then the host was like, what? You don't think?
When's White History Month?
You don't like Black History Month? He's like, what, you get 1 month, He says,
right.
Black History Month? My history is American history. It's like, yeah, but how are we going to end racism? It's like, we stop talking about it. You stop calling me a black man. I stop calling you a white man. I'm Morgan Freeman, and you're so-and-so. We just stop talking about it.
I saw that. I
love that. That's such a great interview. It's so short. I think it was on 60 Minutes. I'm surprised they aired it because it destroys the whole race baiting thing they got going on. But it's just genius, Morgan Freeman on 60 Minutes, calling him out on not buying into the race baiting war and just saying it's ridiculous. And he grilled the host too, because I remember he asked the host, he looked like a white guy. And he's like, well, where's your White History Month? He was like,
right.
Well, I'm Jewish. It's like, okay, where's your Jewish History Month? He's like, I don't have one. It's like, well, do you want one? He's like, right. No. Well, I don't either.
Right.
It's
exactly.
I love that. I'm just so glad you got to see that one, because that was one I was thinking about you, and I was wanting you to see it. You already have, so that's awesome.
Oh man, I freaking watch everything, man. I'm telling you.
I do too.
I have seen so much. I'm glued to YouTube.
Yeah, I know.
I watched it on YouTube. I didn't watch it on mainstream news.
Oh, I did too. Yeah, I didn't see like the actual broadcast of 60 Minutes. I don't think that's happened probably since I was a kid. But yeah, all the little clips and stuff I always check out because, yeah, that's a great one, man. That one needs to be broadcast at like rallies and stuff.
Right.
Broadcast at Black Lives Matter rallies. That would be perfect place for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. Because I mean, yeah.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been asking that for years. But where's White History Month?
Like Morgan Freeman, calling the guy, like, it's perfect. But well, where's Irish History Month? There were Irish slaves.
Right? Chinese slaves.
Where's Chinese History Month? I mean, we have Chinese New Year here. Some towns celebrate Chinese New Year, but where's the Chinese History Month? Where's where's the Pygmy History Month? What about the Pygmies? Can't leave them out.
Right. People ask the Pygmies.
Who is going to stand up? Pygmy. It's hard to even say. Pygmy lives matter. Pygmy lives matter, damn it. Hands up. Don't clip me to death with your language.
No, they would have said.
There you go. You did better than me. I was smiling. It was hard to do that.
They didn't speak like that. They said. They spoke with their hands and clicks.
Yeah. Oh, I can't even type. I was laughing. Oh, good grief. Trying to say this is Lauren there. Oh man.
Look down when you talk to me.
Yeah. Yeah, the camera's all the way up there, and my keyboard's like down here.
No,
Back and forth.
pygmy.
Oh, the picnic. Yeah. Oh yeah. Pygmies, man. They're gonna have to have a pygmy bathroom, because they're getting judged in the other ones.
Well, they're small.
Yeah.
They can fall in or can't reach the urinal.
Well, and that's the thing. I think that was really overlooked. And yet again, they get the short end of the stick. Not to make a bad pun.
I bet Brandy loved that one.
Brandy,
I'm telling you, is the queen of puns. She is.
Oh man.
She is the queen of puns. She will find a pun in anything.
I was talking to a friend. I can't remember what I was saying. I was out in the backyard with the chickens, and they were all running around me. They're getting kind of close, and I said, I guess it's good that they're all not going coo, but I think only pigeons would do that. They're to overthrow me, They're all coming in. That was a bad one, but it was in the moment too.
Right.
The heart. Yeah. Overthrow the feeder. They were all gathering around like a bunch of, I don't know, zombies coming in for the kill. Oh, is she on there?
Yeah, she is. She's listening. She always listens to my shows.
Nice. I'm bad about not looking there. I just I go on rants and glance to the chat room every now and then, but usually I've been spending my time spinning this ruler on this pencil, like keep stop flowing.
Oh, like the old days?
Yeah, do you remember that?
I do.
I love the little
holes.
I've been doing it forever.
Holes in the ruler. Yep.
Better than finger doodling or getting my fingers all stinky from going to the hoop, right?
We actually have a meter.
What's that?
We actually have a meter stick.
Oh yeah, like a yardstick, like a 3-footer.
Yep.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I used to get those broken on me when I was bad in kindergarten. I'm getting swatted with those.
They didn't make those strong enough.
No, I know, huh? The teacher had a good.
After a certain length, they start to get a little flimsy. It's not like the 12-inch ruler.
No, big difference.
Yep.
They had actual paddles that they would make in wood shop where they would drill holes in them. The teachers had those in their door. Yeah, they bust them out. Hey, I'm gonna have a smoky smoke.
I think I am too.
And I can't be as available. You got your door right there. I gotta go that way. I will. Oh, it feels
I
good
saw
to
you
stand
smoking
up.
in the house earlier.
Who, me?
Yes, you.
Oh no, I don't smoke in the house ever.
Oh, you just had it in your mouth.
I have it right now in my mouth, but it's not lit. I rolled it. Yeah, I rolled it, but I didn't know. Yeah, see, that's why I gotta get a good dial in for the vape there. I gotta get a good setup. I have one, but it just always was really harsh. It's no bueno.
Add. Oh, wow. Okay. So, yep, she's still a mod. Yep, she's still a mod. Okay. No. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Do, 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 do.
You don't need to. I'm gonna refresh my camera while I'm smoking. Smoky, smoky, it's no fun. Smoky, smoky for everyone.
Sounds like something Adam Sandler would sing.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm getting a little feedback. Just a tiny bit. Okay. Chimeras. Okay. How do I save this? Oh, I don't have to save it. It'll be in my watch videos now. Okay. Whoa, that's tripped out looking.
What a relief it is. Oh, bathroom break.
What in the hell?
What are you looking at?
That's a sculpture. Oh yeah, I've seen that. That's odd.
Are you looking at something in the chat room? Oh, there you go.
Yeah, go ahead and click those links that Hope put in.
Okay.
I'm actually gonna.
That's a sculpture? Wow.
Wow. Yeah, there's a couple of. I don't know why.
Oh,
Why is that so?
human animal hybrids being grown in, is that what you're looking at?
Yeah, that's what I saw in the beginning. I was like, what in the hell is that? The sculpture.
I remember the ear on the mouse. Oh,
Yeah,
man.
that's actually real. Hybrid pig to human organ transplant.
Oh, then they got the old picture from the. I just saw a old picture with the tail.
The monkey kid.
Mm-hmm. There's a black and white one. It keeps showing those two monkeys a lot.
Yeah, it does. I think they're having a discussion. I didn't.
Gotcha. Yeah, I muted it because I didn't want to
Yeah,
have a big feedback thing going on. You know what's a great film I watched the other night and I haven't watched it in forever is Pump Up the Volume.
Oh, yeah, that's an awesome movie.
It's funny because it just popped up when I was watching that and it made me think of it. And you can watch it it's on YouTube.
With
Christian Slater.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
I was gonna say what.
Well, geez, Hope, that's great you showed us that because, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they've got past 10% and they're pushing 20. I mean, who knows what kind of dark experiments they've been doing. That's why I'd love to do a DNA test just to find out the complete history I don't know about of my own genetics, but I don't want my DNA on file anywhere, really.
Nope.
Forget that.
Nope. No, thank you, because you know they're doing it.
Oh, yeah.
You know they've got a sample in every. You know every sample they take, they're documenting it. Like, and I've had enough blood taken over the years that if they wanted to do something, they could already. You know.
Mm-hmm.
I've given blood, so.
Yeah, I've donated plasma before, so if they wanted
No, I've never donated plasma. I've donated blood, but I've never donated plasma.
It's funny, I've never donated blood, but I've donated plasma.
I don't want any money for mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that totally seems senseless to me. Yeah, but that's to me.
Mm.
So, I know.
Gas money. That was a long time.
Right?
Yeah.
All the people that I knew. This is really fucking funny, though. Everybody that I knew that was doing plasma donations or selling their plasma, they were all drug users.
Oh yeah. Oh man, that was
the weekly place to get their drugs.
Yep. Oh yeah. Now that was the characters you'd see in there. Now I was working a job and I still had to donate plasma to get gas money. Oh, that was geez, 25 years ago. Well, no, I guess not 25 years ago. That would be about 20 years ago. Yeah, I was about 18, 19.
Yeah, it was probably about shit. 15 to 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I was about about 20, maybe a little less than 20 years.
Hmm.
Yes, it would. Yes, it would be messed up. That would be so messed up.
Yeah, that's the whole thing of you know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we're both typing away.
Right? Okay, so for everyone else that's listening, but not here, there was a question that asked, it was, what makes a human a human? And somebody asked, a soul, right? And I'm like, everything has a soul. Everyone has a soul. All living things have a soul, a thing that makes them live, a thing that makes them breathe, a thing that makes them survive. So
It's like you'd call it chi, just to take it from a different, to get away from the word soul. That's got religious connotations, and you go like angle of like, well, what is chi? What is life force? anything living that has the force to want to continue living.
Well, chi is harmony.
You just cut out on me there. Let me refresh here.
Chi is harmony, correct? Chi is the harmonious balance within your life. That's chi. Correct?
I was thinking chi was the life force of
No, chi is the harmonious balance that you create in your life. That's why when you set up your room or any area living in, you mirror the room so that it creates the maximum amount of chi for you.
Through feng shui?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. It's in Korean and Japanese culture or Chinese culture. Chi is the active principle forming part of any living thing.
Okay, then I'm wrong.
I'm just reading. It literally translates as breath, air, or gas, and figuratively as material energy, life force, or energy flow.
Okay, then it is. You're right. I was wrong. I thought chi was what you were defining as feng shui.
Well, you even took it a step further to where you can't.
The life force itself.
And you can't. Well, you took it a step further because you can't be alive unless you're in balance. Even if you're unhealthy, you're still in balance enough to be alive. So the balance of chi would be like qigong, you know.
Right. No, yeah, I understand.
Totally. But yeah, that's what is the life force, or is like the life force of any living thing that would want to continue. Like a tree doesn't want to necessarily be cut down and turned into lumber.
No, that's been proven scientifically that trees have feelings, that trees feel fear.
Oh man, there's a great book called The Secret Life of Plants. I don't know if I've ever talked to you about that one, but
no, I don't think we've discussed that.
Yeah, just all the it's a classic. It's I think there might even, I don't know, I haven't seen the video. There's a video on YouTube about it, but it was written in '89 by a guy named Christopher Bird. And if you ever get a chance to read it, you can probably find it free online. This is that's the full title of it. The Secret Life of Plants, a fascinating account of the physical, emotional, and spiritual relations between plants and man.
That's awesome.
But
I may actually have to read that.
It's definitely a good one. Highly recommend it. And it changed the way I looked at everything.
It definitely sounds like something I would be attached to. I mean, I have a pretty close relation with plants.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're what gives us, they're what makes us live. They literally make us live. Any plants, we would not be alive.
And you know, it even goes further than that. And that was one of the things that we never think about. We think about how essential it is for us to have a liver and a heart and lungs, you know?
Right.
But we never go past that, and we don't think how essential it is that we have sunlight, you know?
Photosynthesis.
It's like the sun, regardless of its orientation or anything, if we had no more sun right now,
we would all
pretty
be
much done.
Yep.
Yeah. And in that way, if then I am the sun, because it's just as important of an organ for me to survive than my own heart or my own lungs or my own, body, and that's where we have that barrier of separation.
Right.
If we can get past that, start looking outside of the isolated spacesuit, then we would realize, well, it's very important that this river is clean in my backyard, and on and on, and that we have sunlight and no nuclear winters. Nuclear winter would suck.
I don't know. It would take a lot to create a nuclear winter, honestly. I mean,
Yeah,
look how many nuclear weapons we pumped into our atmosphere and nothing happened.
Yeah, all the tests we've done, and that's the thing that along those lines, you ever seen that map where you can see all the nuclear tests ever done since they started playing around with splitting the atom? And it's
No, I don't think I have, but I know we've done quite a lot of damage.
well, the funny thing is that a lot of them are in the South Pacific and all over the Southwest, and Nevada and a lot of places like that.
Yep.
And I don't know if you ever heard this. They think smoking. They blamed all the rising cancer clumps to the scapegoat. They couldn't come out and say, well, we did test over 1,000 something nuclear weapons on this continent with uranium in them, and you all got cancer, but we're going to blame it on smoking because most of the population smokes at that time, and that's why they put even additives in it. But I don't know. Have you ever heard that one?
I think it's been pretty proven that. I mean, I don't have fucking cancer. I have tumors, but they're not from smoking.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have lung cancer. I don't have throat cancer. And I've been smoking 20, hold on. Shit. 30 some years. 20 some years.
Well, and again,
27 years. 27 or 28 years.
I think so much of what influences us too is our outlook, and the more fear-based you are, the more health complications you'll have.
True.
And it doesn't mean that I've
totally been afraid of that.
Yeah. And
yeah.
Doesn't mean that I think you create your own. I hate that whole secret. That whole freaking secret movement where it's like the secret. Where you manifest all this abundance and all that, and it's like that's not at all what I mean by like creating. It's just the outlook we have on life, on daily life. Is like, are we still excited about engaging with it, or are we just like kind of throwing our hands up and saying, it's what's the point? Then we're gonna get sick. As soon as we do that, if we really feel that, and not necessarily, not all the time, I just think that
Nagasaki and Hiroshima.
that link I stuck up there was a time-lapse map of every nuclear explosion since 1945.
Yeah. The second one's Nagasaki.
Oh, wait a minute. What just happened? No, I think the first tests were in the...
Well, the first test was in Nevada.
Oh, there you go.
I think. Or just along the border of Mexico.
Yeah, that looks like
right. That's Bikini Atoll.
Uh-huh. You're going to see all the different countries that we know of Non-experiments. And then we got the, yeah, exactly. You're right. It is, the second one is the bomb that was dropped. Hiroshima
Yeah, Hiroshima and then Nagasaki.
and Nagasaki. Hmm. And it's amazing seeing it all in a time lapse like this, and then just as it goes on, you're just like, wow.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah, I see, because it shows Russia and oh, it shows you the months too.
mm-hmm. Yeah. As far as documented ones now, you know, how many were undocumented, who knows? But it lights up like a Christmas tree before we were born.
Oh, and Britain.
Mm-hmm.
When in 1950, wow, holy shit. There's Russia doing some more.
Yeah, huh?
Oh, we got,
Yeah, look at our country there, lighting up here.
51 by 1954.
Uh-huh.
And then Russia did a bunch, but nowhere near ours. Holy shit.
Yeah. And that's like, what's that doing to the population across the country during that time, you know?
70 by 1956.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. And it just went up to 87.
Yeah.
Still in 56.
And then it just goes.
That's us. Holy shit.
Isn't that nuts? 58.
Wow.
Like, yeah, and it just goes. And
We're
then
at 120, and it's still 1958. 140, 50, 60, 70, 196, and we're still in 1958.
59. Yeah, 58, 59.
Holy shit.
Yeah, we're not even now we hit the 60s and we're at 196, and that's not counting Russia, just our country, you know.
Or France. Yeah.
France.
France did a couple.
Mm-hmm. Wait till you get to the Cold War era.
Russia's at 83 and we're at 196.
Yeah.
Holy crap. I'm going to have to watch the whole thing later. Holy crap. It's crazy.
Yeah, if you skip
wow.
it, it's nuts. It's like a Christmas tree.
Oh my God.
And you see, you know, that Southwest thing, you know, it's like, I'm surprised that our
boy, Russia was lit up too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that was
holy shit.
Yeah, huh?
That is absolutely crazy.
And it's funny too when you hear about like, oh, we're testing nuclear weapons, but when you see the actual map of like the ones they've let us know they've tested, then you're just like, how are we even still? And then you have this huge spike in cancer in the last 100 years. Huge, you know?
Right.
Monumental.
Cancer didn't exist before then.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And this is the elephant in the room.
Holy
And once you see the two together, it's like, yeah. What year are you on?
1960. Oh shit. What happened? That's not what I wanted, bastards.
No.
Bastards. That's not what I wanted. I was at 1966. So I have to skip forward. 1966, and we had already let off 478 nuclear weapons in the U.S. Well, pretty much in the U.S. I mean, we had dropped a few other places, but like Nagasaki and Hiroshima, and then Bikini Atoll. I know we did. And that place is thriving now. Bikini Atoll is thriving. It's got so much wildlife around it and in it. But in December of 1966, there was already 470 weapons let off.
Yeah, and you haven't even gotten to when we were born yet.
From the U.S. That's from the U.S.
Just from us.
That's not counting Russia. Russia in 1966 had let off 250. France.
If you look in the lower right-hand corner, you'll have a global tally. That red number.
Yeah, I see the total. China had done 3, and Britain had done 26, with France doing 18. So.
And you're in what year?
A global total of 780. Oh, it's not even in December.
So the year,
where I was looking.
The year you were born, there was 175 nuclear weapons set off by our country. The year we were born.
Right.
Just our country. You know, it's like 1,300 globally.
A little bit. Damn.
Yeah. Well, and see, this is the thing that I wonder about, you know, because things take a while to really settle in. Is this what happened on Mars? You know, like, you know,
Could be.
A few millennia ago?
I want to see, by the time we were born, because we were born both in 1975, by the time I was born, in April of 1975, we had let off 765 nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
765. Holy shit.
Before we even had a chance to learn the language or anything, we were still crapping our pants, you know?
Yeah. 765.
Yeah.
With Russia was half of that, 419. But I'm sure in the next few months they're going to let off a bunch more. So.
Oh yeah. Oh, it gets nuts.
Us. Oh, I thought it was already getting nuts.
Oh, this is just the 70s.
That's insane.
Think about the 80s, you know, when Red Dawn was a big hit film and the Cold War really hit its peak with Reagan and all that.
Yeah.
So, oh yeah, they go crazy here in a bit. So yeah, when we were 5 years old.
Who's letting off the yellow ones? That's what I'd like to know. Out in the ocean. Is that us?
They do it by country and flag, but yeah, I don't know why they use different colors or if they're just doing it for location.
No, the blue ones are us.
Oh yeah, you mean the green ones down below, like the South Pacific, or down off of Brisbane?
Yes. Yeah.
Let's see.
Are those us? Or are those that other country that came into effect at the bottom, which is Mexico?
Let's see.
Maybe it was Mexico.
I was trying to look when
no, it wasn't Mexico. Then it was us. We did that. No, wait. Hold on. I think I'll just figure it out. Right now.
You know, that's where the name for a bikini comes from. They did nuclear testing on Bikini Island, you know? Isn't that weird?
Bikini Atoll, yeah.
And it's so strange that the thing that a lot of people, you know, bikinis are sexy or whatever. So it's like that. That's why I always tell people we're living in a sex and death cult, you know, like a death cult. Because you get the bikini from Bikini Islands doing nuclear tests there, and it's like, that's the only reason we know that word bikini.
Yeah, Bikini Atoll. Yep.
Exactly.
It's an atoll.
I think it's still going. We're about at 2,000, huh?
I'm at 1984, and we're almost to the 1,000.
Woohoo!
December.
Yeah, that's the funny thing.
Yeah. Wow.
when you read or hear that we're doing nuclear testing or we're testing something, it's like actually seeing all the countries, like what they're doing, then it really hits home and you're like, wait a minute, you know, if you add all that together and you give all of that release its effect on the life on this planet, wouldn't that affect like global temperature? I mean, you know,
You would think, yeah.
cancer rate, autistic children. I mean, pretty much looking at how do we know? You know, they just discovered it supposedly, fusion and splitting the atom in the 40s. So what's the long-term effects of that much uranium and plutonium getting tossed into the atmosphere with every one of these explosions? Now, individually, they may be gauged to be safe, but when you add all of them together, what do you get? And it's a big, like, no one knows, you know?
And they only go to 1998. That only goes to 1998.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It stops in 1998.
And it just goes on and on. And it's like, what was all that?
Well, it doesn't stop, I guess. It keeps going, but
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Britain.
Yeah, they're up in their game, huh?
Yeah. Quite a lot. Holy shit.
We're watching the map of all the nuclear explosions that at least that we know about that are documented, that's played in a time-lapse map on YouTube.
Now it's showing all the ones that America did. Holy shit.
Yeah.
All over the place.
Yeah, that's the thing, is like, it makes you wonder, like, Mars, you know? Is this the same cycle that's happened on Mars?
It could be.
You know, like
Very well could be.
hundreds of thousands of years ago?
Yep.
And I mean, I don't know. Used to have water there. There's still all of the old riverbeds and everything you can supposedly see. I mean, I haven't been to Mars, so I don't know. Who knows where those pictures came from? They could be from Nevada, for all I know.
That's insane.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe I'll show it to everyone since they're not going to have the link for it.
Did you get all the way to the end?
Oh my God, yeah. It's freaking crazy.
Oh, no. Yeah, and it's just like, why hasn't this talked about? That's what the long-term effects that would be on life forms, on trees, on humans, on water and everything.
Absolutely.
Climate.
Well, I'm going to share this right now so that everyone can watch this. And this is just kind of insane.
Oh, yeah, it blew my mind. I was just like, oh, okay. And then it kept going up and up and up, and I'm like adding up, and I'm like, you know, you get over 2,000 explosions, nuclear explosions, in the course of less than 45, 50 years.
Oh, there's over 2,000. We had 1,000 ourselves.
Oh, exactly. Like 2,053, I think, is the last tally I saw on there.
Right. This is insane, actually. And I don't know who's this, but I hope that it's all right to use it. So this is just for informational purposes, not trying to.
This is an older one. Oh, I think you'll be all right. It came out in 2010. He's a researcher. But
but if it's copyrighted or whatever, I don't want to get a copyright strike. But it's very interesting.
yeah, and it's something that should be brought into a forum. It should be talked about.
Absolutely. I mean, look at this. This is. If you watch this, which you'll see what I'm talking about here. This is absolutely insane.
Mm-hmm.
Especially at the end, you know, when they show each country and what they've put off. So
Yeah.
it's quite amazing to watch in the labs of it.
And, you know, it's like all the different layers of implications, you know, because I didn't realize, because, you know, we grew up through the whole Cold War era, you know, and, you know, the big mean Russians and, you know, movies like Red Dawn coming out and all that, you know.
Right.
But then
Right. I remember that. You know, I remember watching that as a kid.
when you see the facts of, like, physically what this would have done to the place we call home, our Earth, or regardless of its shape or anything, it's like, well, that's got to have something to do with so many different things that now they're trying to fix with pharmaceuticals or geoengineering or weather modification. Maybe they did all this and they were like, oh shit, we kind of went too far. Now we got to keep things going. We got to do all this other stuff now to keep it from imploding or something. I don't know.
Well, it looks like they were hitting California pretty heavy too, like out Mojave.
Oh yeah,
That's right where that is.
Nevada area kind of too.
Yeah, Mojave and 'cause that's. I mean, I know pretty much know our whole map and where everything is.
Mm-hmm.
I've walked a great deal of it, so I can tell you right on the map. You know, that's Nevada and California.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this went on.
It just lights up like a Christmas tree.
It does, man. And again, it's like
All those blue ones are ours, I think.
yeah, I think they gave the blue ones to the continental U.S. and then the ones in the ocean is kind of a different color. But I'm trying to see what where they add up at when they flash. You know,
All the blue ones are the ones we put off.
even the purple ones are us too, because those are around the South Pacific.
I think those are Britain.
The purples.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not positive though. Oh, here comes France into the play.
Yeah, it's like, oh, we want to play.
That's the little orange ones there.
Yeah, I feel like this is one of the big elephants in the room.
Right.
For so many different topics of.
And
we don't know.
What I don't understand is if we're gonna do all these nuclear things, why in the fuck are we bombing our own place?
Yeah, huh?
Right?
Yeah. Over and over again.
Why would we do that? If we know they're so destructive, why are we bombing our own fucking country? I would like to know that.
Well, and also, if you added all those explosions up, now individually they might be, again, rated as safe, but if you added them all together, what's the total release of particulates that are radioactive, you know, just for our country?
Right.
Then it's probably not at a safe level, I would imagine.
Probably not. No, like everything at Area 51 is dead.
Mm-hmm.
Everything out in that desert is pretty much dead. I mean, there's no life out there.
And that's why
sagebrush can live through almost anything. So, but as far as snakes and lizards and shit like that, they don't really live out there. I don't think. I think it's too highly radioactive.
Mm-hmm. And you go through this, and then you're like, well, eventually, don't worry, we'll test all these, and then we'll just make a killing on the healthcare industry. That's why our country has the most expensive healthcare in the world, right?
Yeah, because you have to pay to die, you know.
And the funny thing is everybody paid through their tax dollars to make these explosions possible. So you get
Right.
it on things, you know.
Thank you, America.
Uh-huh. we're going to have you work like a slave your whole life so you can pay, so we can test nuclear weapons in your backyard. And then you'll get cancer. Then you'll pay us again. So you have to go to the hospital.
Right. And then you'll pay some more to get the drugs that we have to give you to not fix your cancer.
Uh-huh. And then to cover our ass, we'll just blame it all on smoking. Yeah, it's just smoking. That's why everybody's dying.
Right.
When in the long run, smoking can actually protect you from particulates in your lungs because you get a layer of mucus in your lungs.
Coating. Yeah, you get a coating.
Yeah, huh?
Yep.
It's during the Black Plague. There's old paintings of people walking around hauling out the bodies, and they were always smoking a pipe because the tobacco protected them somehow. They thought it did. I mean, a lot of the workers smoked a pipe all the time.
I did not know that.
There's a great old painting of that. I mean, like the antifungal properties of tobacco smoke, and well, the natives, you know, definitely Native Americans always held it as a sacred plant. And I mean, they weren't doing rollies and walking around with a pipe all the time, but it's a mental stimulant, increases memory, antifungal.
Oh, they smoked it out of a pipe.
What's that?
They smoked it out of a pipe.
Oh yeah, yeah. It just wasn't as how often they did. It was more a ceremonial thing. They weren't just like, as far as I know, I don't know.
Smoking to smoke? No, they didn't just
Yeah.
smoke to smoke.
Exactly. Because they were a neurotic mess watching the world collapse around them. Like, that's why I smoke.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, fuck this place. I'm just going to smoke.
You always liked what Bill Hicks said about that. He lights up a cigarette on stage. You know, Bill Hicks, the comic. He lights up a cigarette on stage. It's like, if anyone has a problem with this, I just suggest you look around the world in which we live and shut the fuck up. Like, that just nailed it.
Oh my God. I made me choke on my vape. Yeah.
Crazy stuff, though, but I've always wondered if there were serious minds of serious, you know, scientists and stuff saying, looking at this and saying, well, what are the implications of that? You know?
Right.
And get a straight answer, but
They will
oh my
never
God.
give you a straight answer. Never. Never.
And that's why it ain't no justice, just us.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
The end of this is really profound because it shows the countries individually
Mm-hmm.
when they do their explosions or when they do their testings. And I mean, you can see from the numbers, it's a really high number, but when they put them all together and by country, it really shows you the profound amount of bombs that we've done. Just us. That's not even counting the rest of the world.
Uh-huh.
And those are only the ones that are reported. Like you said, there's probably some that they did not report.
Yeah.
Be inclined to think that anyway.
Yeah, I mean, the only ones that were documented, and then you have the black budget programs, or, you know, as soon as the Cold War hit, it was all about secrecy. And this is probably maybe even just half of what they did, honestly, you know?
Right. Oh, there's another one.
Mm-hmm.
That must have been Britain.
Little yellow in there. India getting, oh no, that's not India. It looks like around the India range.
China? Is it China?
Oh, that's what it was.
Oh, that's China. That's China.
Yeah.
That's France.
And I wonder if that's kind of like, this map to me is like a picture of the orgasmic like relief right before the big explosion that everybody's waiting for. You know, everybody's waiting for either zombies to attack us, you know, system to collapse, the financial system to collapse, a comet to hit it.
There's the Islamic State.
There you go. Iran or something getting in the mix.
Right?
Oh yeah.
I would have to say Iran.
I think that's for Turkey maybe. It might have been a Turkish flag. I can't tell from.
I don't know. All the Islamic countries have that fucking moon and star.
Yeah, huh? Yeah, the short time lapse is really revealing, huh? When you
This one here? Yeah, very
yeah,
much so.
and it shows all the highlighted areas. The concentration of where the actual explosions were are
I knew those were France and the South Pacific. See?
there you go. Good call, man.
A few anyway.
UK was the purple, you're right, yeah. On the red.
Bam, 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 bam.
Yeah, huh?
All over their fucking country.
Yeah, huh?
All over the unpopulated part of their country.
Mhm.
Like in Siberia and shit.
Yeah, look at
This
that.
is bam, ba bam, ba bam, ba bam, ba bam, ba bam, ba bam.
Just going at it.
Yeah, and I mean we went all over the place.
Now see that big white dot as far as concentration? I mean, it's just like,
Yes.
wow. And the funny thing is our jet stream runs right through that white dot, all the way to the East Coast.
Right?
So
Yay us.
look at that giant white dot. Look what
Right?
we're so smart. We made things that go boom and kill everything. Woohoo!
Yeah, we set them off in our own fucking country. Isn't that stupid as shit?
Well, and that's the thing is if you added up all of the, again, if you added up the culmination of that big white dot we just saw, how many bombs of Hiroshima would that equal?
There you go.
Now maybe
That
they weren't, maybe they weren't,
Give their credit to them right there.
maybe they weren't, maybe they weren't concentrated all at once, but at the same time that the release, the release.
It's a proven fact. It's a proven fact that yeah, we have been going at it quite a while, haven't we? It's a proven long exposure to small amounts of radiation is worse than a short exposure to a lot of radiation.
Yep. And then you go into the health region of the explosion of cancer rates in the continental U.S. versus other places of the world, especially when you get down to South America and, you know, Australia with places like that. Now, if you get modern medicine in and GMOs in, then that's another thing that can throw off the stats. But they're way lower everywhere else in the world than the U.S. You know?
Right. Absolutely.
And I just don't know why no one's ever. Oh, some people have. You know, you can put the two and two together, but that map really was like the fucking sledgehammer to my brain. Where just like, fucking of course, no wonder everybody's fucking sick. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Years we've been more than that. Who knows? Who knows? The map even doesn't go past that. That's that I'd like to see it past that and see what else they've been doing. But yeah.
I think the nuclear arms treaty kind of
Slowed down a bit.
Yeah.
Or they just stopped reporting.
I think that's right around the time we signed the nuclear arms treaty.
Or they just stop reporting for under the guise of national security.
That could be too.
Yeah. Or they said, oh, well, we seeded everything. Now we're just going to kick back and watch how this affects the population, and we'll see what the cancer rates are. And this will be a great experiment. We'll learn.
Right. So where were the aliens when we were letting off the nuclear weapons then?
Oh, I know, huh? And that's the thing that, I always try to take with a grain of salt is the explosion of UFOs. The explosion of sightings. Now, it's always been around because we even, you were talking about before the painting with Michelangelo.
Right.
And the UFO and the.
Oh, there's many, many more examples than just that.
Yeah, that's just the classic one I remember. And there's a few other ones.
Good example. But
the funny thing is,
many.
Oh, that's just the lag.
Oh, you're all right.
Having the holy icons of the Mother Mary and baby Christ and a UFO and all in the same picture. Well, from the 1400s, 1500s, is like what?
Right. Hello.
This is,
And Leonardo da Vinci was like one of the smartest men to ever live.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, so when he writes that, I think there's a deeper meaning than just a UFO in the picture. To me.
Oh yeah. Well, and there's that beam coming down out of it.
Yeah, it definitely signifies something. But see, the greater amount of people aren't going to say that Jesus was an alien or half alien, or you know what?
Yeah.
If okay, and I say if because we don't have any concrete evidence of anything, because we weren't alive 1,000 years ago when Jesus Christ was born. If Mary conceived without being penetrated, then the only other explanation for it is in vitro fertilization. Mm-hmm. And we didn't have any knowledge of that back then.
Yep.
So that gives you and I mean, I've been thinking this for 20 freaking years. This is not new to me at all.
Uh-huh.
That, women get pregnant. And the only way they get pregnant is by two ways: in vitro fertilization or sex.
Yep.
So if she didn't have sex, she got fertilized.
Yeah.
Hmm? It's the only two ways. There is no God that made her pregnant by doing nothing at all.
Yeah. And another one too is
people need to look past that and really think about things like with their logical mind.
And another way, if you wanted to take all of the life forms on this planet and save them from a great flood, you wouldn't take them physically. That would be impossible. You would take their DNA and then reseed the planet once the flood has passed.
And clone them.
Yep.
Or whatever. You would take their seed.
And that's just like expanding our mind with what's possible we know through science now. Not saying that that's what happened. It's just like, well, that would reinterpret that story because the idea of, they just opened that art museum. Have you seen that? They built a life-size ark in Kentucky or something.
Really?
That shit.
Yeah. Oh, I think I did. And they wanted them to take it down.
Creationist museum, and there's like protests going on outside because people are saying that it's wrong to charge money for you go in the art and all this. People getting worked up about shit. It's, dude, they raise all this money, build a life-size art based on the dimensions of the Bible.
I want to know. Hold on.
Uh-huh.
I want to know how they know it's life-size.
Oh, because the ark was described in detail in the Bible about how many cubits it was built and all this. So
Yeah, what's a fucking cubit?
it's an ancient.
Measurement, yes.
Uh,
Does anyone know what a fucking cubit is now? Because that's not how they measure.
oh yeah, definitely not. We have meters and feet now.
Right. So what was a cubit?
Let's see. The ancient measure of length, it was approximately equal to the length of a forearm. It was typically about 18 inches or 44 centimeters.
So they think.
So they think. Typically, yeah, about that. Equal to the length of a forearm is what they say. So,
How did they come to this conclusion? Are there
good
any
question.
to back it up?
I think that the cubit was not just used in the only in the Bible. I think the cubit was a way that was used in other cultures in the ancient world for measurement and in that area. But the Bible refers to it as cubits. But yeah, good question. Unless we could go, we wouldn't know.
Right.
Yeah.
I'd like to have a time machine. I really would.
Let's see. It says cubits of
I would be going back and I'd be like, "What's up, Jesus?"
Oh, I know, huh?
Yeah, I would.
Well, you go back there and realize Jesus was a woman and also an alien at the same time, and be like, wow, I got a lot to tell him back in the future. And then you come back here and say, hey, everybody, Jesus was a woman and an alien. They'd be like, get out of here. We all know he's a white guy with long hair. Looks like a hippie.
Right?
That was blessing or a curse. Now, you can go back and find the truth, but then who do you take? You take them with you and say, I'll show you. You don't believe me? I'll show you. Like, come on, I'll take you back. But otherwise, you come back and they'd be looking at you like a raving maniac, you know?
Oh, no, I'd take a fucking camera.
Oh, there you go. A video recorder, too.
Yeah, I wouldn't even.
Footage from 2,000 years ago.
It's exactly what I would do.
Put like hidden cameras where when they
I wouldn't even fuck around at all. No, 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 no. I'm not going to let them know I'm from the future. That would totally freak them the fuck out. They'd crucify me.
Oh, you'd be taken out. You have to make sure.
Dude, they would fucking kill me.
Like, if they saw your glasses 2,000 years ago, they'd be like, he's a witch, burn him.
Right? They'd be like, what the fuck are those?
Or your shirt, if they show the material your shirt's made out of with the strange, swipe on it, it'd be like, get him, get him.
Yeah, the first thing I would do is, I don't know, disrobe and find something new to wear.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Well, you'd have to if I had a time machine,
I'd take a potato sack and sew it into some clothes. That would probably be closer to what they were wearing.
Yeah, but the problem is if it had a label in it or something, you flip it over and they'd be like, what is this strange print? Is this a spell you printed on the side of your clothes?
Oh, good God.
Because they wouldn't read English, so they'd be like, he has some sort of incantation in his clothes. And they'd be speaking in like ancient.
Oh, my God, I know. You'd have to be scared of everything if you went back there.
Honestly, what I would do is try to break into some museum, and steal like some authentic, based on how far you go back, because obviously we can't get clothes from the Middle East in 2,000 years ago, and that aren't like, completely destroyed.
Maybe they didn't have museums then.
Oh,
you mean now?
Yeah, you'd have to get it from the museum now and then go back. Like, even if you went to the Middle Ages, you'd have to raid a museum until 1500s to go back. But you have to be careful, because if you have the wrong crest on, they might be like, I know that family, and you're not from that family. Why are you wearing his crest? Kill him, fuck.
Bloody fool. I am too. Otherwise, how would I get the freaking crest?
Yeah. That's my lord's armor. Why are you wearing
your
it?
Head.
Yeah.
I will behead you now.
The Middle Ages would be easy. You just, you could get a burlap sack, make sure there's no writing on it. Just smear yourself in shit and then go back. You could squeeze through, you know.
Actually, if it was the Middle Ages, I'm a direct descendant from King Richard III. So,
Oh, you're serious? Nice, man.
yeah, I am. Yeah.
Didn't they find his grave under a parking lot? Did you see that? They found his actual body and everything.
Really?
Oh yeah, they found King Richard III buried under like a parking lot in the UK like a couple years ago or 3 years ago.
Awesome.
So your relative was found, man. They didn't know where he was buried for a long time, and it was ended up being under some. I'm sure they were putting like a strip mall or something, and they found him. You know.
Right? Well, he was a hated fucking king. So,
Oh yeah, he was not a popular fella.
no, he was not very, liked at all.
Yeah.
I would have rather been related to Richard I,
Hmm.
the Lion-Hearted.
Well, I mean,
I played him in Robin Hood.
oh nice, man.
Yeah, in a play in Robin Hood, I played King Richard I.
That's awesome. Well, I mean, all those blue bloods are related anyway. You know that, right?
I do.
So you are related to.
Maybe that's why I feel so entitled sometimes. Just because, I don't know.
So they discovered the remains of Richard III beneath a car park. English Leicester, I might be saying it wrong, in 2012. And the bones are to be reburied following a series of commemorations. And they found out that Richard III was not hunchbacked.
Right.
And that was all like just to add to Shakespeare's play, I would imagine, because that's where they got the whole image of him from Shakespeare.
Oh, really? I did not know that.
Yeah. But
I'm not too much historical looking on him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But you should check that out. So if you're related to him, but it's pretty. I don't know. I found that interesting. You're digging around, building, looking under a parking lot, and then you find like the remains of Richard III. It's like, what the hell,
Right.
Can you imagine that? Like,
right?
Oh, I think it'd be a femur bone.
They probably just dumped him in the landfill after they found him anyway.
Yeah, huh?
They're like, this is only King Richard III. Fuck him.
Yeah, huh? They did a whole DNA test on him and everything, and like figured out what probability of having blue eyes or not, and all this stuff. It's crazy.
Take him to the dump.
Yeah. To the boneyard with him.
Right?
Uh-huh.
In the Jew pile. Oh, I'm just joking. I'm gonna get an angry letter about that.
Angry letter about the dew pile?
He said Jew pile. Put him
Gotcha. Again, I think the rules should be you make fun of all groups, even our own. Everything should be made fun of.
You know what? You can't. You got to get past the past.
Yep, it's the only way to do it.
That's it. I mean, I just made fun of King Richard. He's one of my descendants, and he was royalty.
There you go.
Fuck it.
That's all you can do.
It's the past. You gotta leave the past in the fucking past. That goes for everything, all cultures, all everybody.
Yeah, because the only place we'll ever truly exist is right now.
I don't know any black people that are slaves right now.
Yeah, I don't either, and I've never owned one. So
I've never owned one either.
Guilty, and I've had friends of many different nationalities. So Am I supposed to kick that up and you know, run around like, oh yeah, I don't agree with slavery.
If you really want to get technical, if you really want to get technical, all of us are fucking slaves.
Exactly, and that's the way you turn it around. You have the people fighting amongst themselves, and they never see who the real master is. That's how they do it.
Right. But that's the whole point of the matter, right there. We are all slaves to our government, and until you see that you're still a slave, it's not. I mean, it's not a black thing. It's not a white thing. It's not. It's not anything. It's all of us. So if we don't band together and make something better of what we are, then they fucking win anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Plain and simple, they win. They want you as a culture or a people to regress and to think about how you've been hurt in the past so that they can keep control of you.
Well, and that's the thing is, if people would realize that Machiavelli just isn't a Tupac album, it's also a guide to strategy on it.
Machiavelli was a real person.
Yeah. And the techniques therein used and manipulation and control and ruling of people and all that stuff. And
absolutely, yeah. Well, that's who that wasn't him. He was speaking about the real Machiavelli. He was using that as a how do you say, like a pen name?
Yeah, kind of like the way Nietzsche that's fake Zoroaster, you know, just the
right. He used Machiavelli in his music to try and make people understand, you know.
I have to correct myself. It wasn't Zoroaster. It was Zarathustra. Jeez, I just did Zarathustra.
Say what now?
I was misquoting Nietzsche's work of less fake Zarathustra. I called it Zoroaster. I'm talking about Zoroaster. Sorry. I just wanted to correct myself before I made a click. It's good to make an ass of yourself, though. It's important. It builds character, right?
Right. I may make a cup of coffee. Here.
Well, you're gonna go for it, man.
Huh?
You're going for it, making coffee?
Yeah. It'll only take me a minute.
Well, I don't know how much longer I'm gonna go because we've how long have we been on? I don't even know.
Oh, a few hours, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let me see. It should tell me.
I don't even know. I can't tell how long it's.
Yep, 3 hours. We've been on 3 hours.
Oh, that's a good chunk, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna hop off of here, but we got to do it again soon, man. This has got to be the.
We should.
I can't imagine if you really wrote down all the different topics we discussed, how many there would be. But
I just like that we bounce around and.
That's what I love about talking to you, Damon. Is
I can't stay fixated on
say, well,
a long time.
Yeah,
my brain doesn't work that way.
Well, you have a healthy ADD like me.
Right. Exactly.
And that's the funny thing is it's everything's tied into one another. That saying, the degrees of separation. Well, everything's eventually going to be related to each other. You know.
Yeah, because it all comes from the same place.
Yeah, I mean, it's all connected if you look deep enough.
Right. One day, man, I got the weirdest story. When I was in Bill Shiver's class, he was a really big influence on me throughout my life, you know, and I don't think he really knew that. But when I was in his class, you know, he did a lesson on something or another, and I can't even remember what it was. But this really it had an impact on him too. This story did because he wrote it on one of my report cards, and me and one of my classmates,
Mm-hmm.
who was not even close to being related to me, figured out a way that we could be related.
Nice.
So we went through all this. I mean, this is some really philosophical talk for third graders, you know?
Uh-huh.
So we're in the playground discussing this and that and this and that and how we could actually be related. And we went back and told him that we were like umpteenth cousins or some shit. I don't know. And he's like, how did you come to this conclusion? And so we told him, and he was like, that's very interesting. You know, and that's so long ago, but I still remember it. And it was crazy, you know, but it's true. I mean it does actually everything comes back to itself, you know, or connects with something else. And and that's a good story for that. You know, we found a way that he wasn't even like from this country. Right? I mean, he was here and he was born here, but his parents weren't from here. So it's like we figured out a way that we were connected in a place that we weren't connected. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I took care of that.
I was going to type something really rude.
Oh, well, I can unblock them. You can do that.
Oh, man. Well, I'm gonna get off of here, man. I'd love to stay up all night doing this, but I gotta get up in the morning.
Oh, good Lord. All right.
But I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
We need to have. I'm just glad to see you doing shows again. And I'm excited to watch it when you get other people on. I can just kick back and drink and listen to you guys talk.
Right. Well, that might happen tonight.
Yeah, I missed your show.
That may happen.
Hey, yeah, let me know if you do a show, and I always like checking them out. That's the thing. I like being, I like talking like we do, and I also like kicking back and just listen to other people rap out, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's my favorite thing.
Fun. It's absolute. It's a, I've just been out for a little while just because, I needed that time, I guess, to and to get away from it for a little while. And
totally.
Yep. But it's all right. It's not
well,
bad.
It's good to see you back on. Thanks for bringing me back on for your resurrection.
Right?
And we did a good marathon tonight, man. I'm glad you got to see that. And I would like to see what Jeff and the other guys thought of that, if they've ever seen that.
Right? Well,
because it just brought up so many different ideas. You know?
I don't know how many people actually watched it. It didn't say. Well, I guess we only had a few viewers, but.
Well, the good thing is you played it on played it on the recording, so if people ever watch this show, they'll get to see it, what we're talking about that whole time. If they don't know, I think that's something that people should know about, because it has so many implications.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, that's really important. I mean, I didn't even realize how many. I didn't realize the amount of nuclear warheads we had let off, not just within our countries, but all over the place.
All that testing.
Well, I think we more than proved that we can get to Russia or China.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's
or Iran, or anywhere else that we want on this place, because it's not that far.
That's the other angle too. I've heard that's in theory that they're pretty much, they made a deal where they're terraforming this planet for other for their overlords to come in, because they like a higher radiation environment. You know,
could be kind of like Mars. Hey,
higher radiation kind of content, get it just right, and they'll scoop down and they get something out of it. I don't know. I like hearing all theories, and you know, not necessarily going along with any that I can't see, but all you can do, right? Welcome to the land of illusion. All right, brother. Well, I'm gonna hop off of here. I gotta pee again, and I'm gonna have a cigarette. And so great talking to you, man.
Oh, hey. Look here.
Yeah. What?
Oh, we got a troll.
Oh, there you go. Well, personally, the troll should smell my finger and guess where it's been.
Si yo habla español también. So, what you wrote, you dirty fucker.
Yeah, it's that time of night, huh?
Yeah, they don't have anything better to do, I guess. I don't know.
Should go and spam his channel if he has one.
Yeah, yo comprende.
Well, hey, give me a heads up if you're going to do a show tomorrow with anyone, so I can like kick back and listen to. I want to see you back on the shows, though, man. I miss having your shows around, and this was cool.
Yeah, I loved it, and we'll do it again. I know you have your daughter soon, so you'll have her what tonight?
Monday. It'll be Monday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe we'll do this again tonight.
Yeah. Not sitting here just with my mouth hanging open like,
Right.
This was awesome, man. Well, hey, I'm on a split, man. Thanks again, and keep me posted on any other shows you're going to do. I'd like to check them out.
I can do that. I definitely can do that.
All right, brother. You have a good night, man. Thank you.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Good night, everybody. Thank you for coming. And we'll see you next time. Stand up to tyranny.